Hello, madam.
Sir, good morning.
Morning, madam.
Good morning, ma'am.
Madam, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, good morning. Konda.
Madam, நான் செக் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். கொஞ்ச நேரத்துல நான் ஆன்லைன்ல வரேன்.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, ஒரு 5 நிமிஷம்.
Okay, ma'am. No problem, ma'am.
Okay. நிலா மேம் உங்களுக்கு 3 இது காட்டுது.
Yes, ma'am. நான் லேப்டாப்லயே கனெக்ட் பண்ணலாம்னு பாக்குறேங்க மேம். இல்லனா போன்ல வந்துறேங்க மேம்.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
மீனா மேடம், நீங்க ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாம்.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. 1 minute.
Okay.
I'm connecting my device, sir.
Okay.
சார் மத்த லிங்க் பார்த்து செக் பண்ண வேண்டியது இல்லைங்க சார்?
அதான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் மேடம். வாங்க இதை ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டு மொத்தது போலாம்.
ஓகே சார்.
மேடம், ஒரு சின்ன ரிக்வெஸ்ட்.
சொல்லுங்க சார்.
இமெயில் ஐடி வந்து .bdu.s.in சொல்லிட்டேன். அது தப்பு. அது @bdu.s.in.
அப்படியா? சரிங்க சார்.
ஆர்பி கொண்டு இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுங்க. நேத்து இவருக்கு சொல்லிட்டேன், தஞ்சாவூர்காரருக்கு சொல்லிட்டேன்.
சரி.
அவர் இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்றேன்ட்டாரு. CDE MBA 1 .bdu.s.in போட்டேன்.
ஆமா, .bdu.ac.
டாட் கிடையாது, @bdu.s.in.
@bdu. ஓகே சார். நான் சொல்லிடுறேங்க சார். ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே, நீங்க பார்க்க கை பண்ணுங்க. நான் அந்த பார்த்து செக் பண்ணிட்டு வரேன்.
ஓகே சார். ஓகே.
ஓகே, பை.
Is my screen is visible, ma'am?
இல்ல மேம், வரல மேம்.
அதுல நீலான்னு இருக்கும் பாருங்களே மேம், ஷேர் பண்ணிட்டேன். அதுல 3 நீலால ஏதாவது ஒரு நீலாவை வந்துட்டு கிளிக் பண்ணி பாருங்களேன், ஸ்கிரீன் வரும்.
ஒண்ணு உங்க போட்டோவோட ஒண்ணு இருக்கு.
அதான் 3 இது இருக்கு மேம். அதுல ஒரு ஸ்கிரீன் வந்துட்டு கிளிக் பண்ணீங்கன்னா வருங்க மேம். அந்த பின்னுங்கிற ஆப்ஷன் வருதுங்களா மேம்?
வருது.
பிபிடி தெரியுதுங்களா மேம்?
பிபிடி தெரியுது. ஓகே
மேம். ஷால் ஐ ஸ்டார்ட் மேம்?
ஓகே மேம், carry on.
ஓகே மேம். ஓகே மேம். Thank you மேம். Thank you. Shall I proceed மேம்? இப்படியே நான் பேச ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாமா? ஓகே
மேம், நீங்க அப்படியே கண்டினியூ பண்ணுங்க.
ஓகே மேம். Sure மேம். Thank you மேம். Good morning to one and all. In this class we are going to discuss about organizational development. Let us start with the term organization. Organization is nothing but it is a combination of two or more people who work together to achieve a common goal. So the goals may be profit maximization or wealth maximization. So organization is a social system which deals with human relationship, as we all know that. It is nothing but dividing the work and allotting the same to the employees are the main purpose of any organization, rather than its size, whether it may be a large scale organization, small scale organization, and medium scale organization. Its main aim is to that is profit maximization and the wealth maximization. Then next we move on to organizational development. So it is shortly known as OD. Organizational development is shortly known as OD. OD is a planned organization-wise effort to increase the organizational efficiencies and its viability. Okay. Then that is organizational development concentrates on how to understand and how to manage the planned change in the organization. There may be two types of changes. One is planned change and other one is unplanned change. Planned change means the change that is determined in advance is known as pre-decided change is known as planned change. Okay. Then OD is the process of planned change and improvement of the organizations, that is the application of knowledge of the behavioral sciences, such as the behavioral sciences disciplines such as psychology. It may be related to sociology. It is the cultural anthropology and other fields of study. So organizational development is nothing but if any organization want to increase that is effectiveness, it has to implement planned changes in the organization. Okay. Planned change means the change that is pre-decided is known as planned change. Then definition of OD. There are different authors that is given definitions for organizational development. According to Goons et al., organizational development is systematic, integrated and planned approach to improve the effectiveness of the organization. The same thing. Then it is designed to solve the problems of the organization. According to Burke, OD is a planned process of change, in the organization. Every author use the term planned change. So organizational development is nothing but if you implement any planned changes in your organization in order to improve effectiveness, it is called organizational development. Then according to French and Bell, the OD is a long range effort, to improve the organizational effectiveness by providing solutions, that is problem solving and renewal processes, according to French and Bell. Then next we move on to nature of organizational development. So the nature of organizational development may be it is based on the strategy, structure, processes of an entire system, the behavioral science knowledge and practice, managing planned change, creation and reinforcement of change, and improving the organizational effectiveness. So OD applies to the strategy, structure, and process of an entire system. So that is such as an organization may be a single plant or multi-plant organization, or it may be a department, or it may be a work group, anything, but it should follow some strategies, structure and processes. Okay. Then organizational development is based on the behavioral sciences. Behavioral sciences include that is the concepts such as strategy, the organizational design, and interpersonal relationship with others. Okay. Then OD is concerned with managing planned change, but it is the formal sense. It is associated with the management and consulting or technological innovation. Then fourth nature of the organizational development is creation and reinforcement. That is both the creation and the subsequent reinforcement of the change. So this is the fourth nature of the organizational development. The fifth nature of an organizational development is improving the organizational effectiveness. So this is the main aim of organizational development. Okay. So the nature of organizational development based on the strategies, structures, behavioral science, planned change, creation, and reinforcement of the change in order to improve the organizational effectiveness. So change is unavoidable in organizational development. Next, we move on to the characteristics of organizational development. It is otherwise known as features of organizational development. There may be 5 important features of organizational development. It may be planned change. That is the change is the permanent word which never changes. Okay. Then solid research and theory, reciprocal relationship, goal oriented, problem solving. These are the 5 main characteristics of an organizational development. That is, OD is a systematic approach to planned change. It is a systematic way of conducting. It is a systematic way of conducting the business. Okay. So the next one is OD is the grounded in social research theory. Then it recognizes the reciprocal relationship between both the individual and the organization. It is a mutual understanding. It is a reciprocal relationship between these two parties, that is the individual and the organization. Organization development is basically goal oriented because every business have 2 main goals. One is profit maximization, other one is wealth maximization, as we all know that. Then organizational development helps to solve the problems persisting in the organization. There are several problems in the organization regarding the manpower, regarding purchasing of raw materials, like that. So it helps to solve the problems that pertain in the organization. These are the 5 main characteristics of an organizational development. Apart from these 5 characteristics, there may be collaborative perspective, there may be participative perspective, there may be developmental view, there may be change in the systems, then there may be task accomplishment. These are the main characteristics of the organizational development. Okay. The next one is objectives of organizational development. Why we have to study organizational development? What is the importance of organizational development? Because organizational development helps to improve the organization's performance. That is, the performance can be measured by profitability, the market share the company possesses, and the innovation strategies adopted by that particular organization. These are the ways we can measure the organizational performance. Okay. Then the second objective is it helps to make organization better adaptive to its environment, that is to the outside world. There may be a good rapport between the organization and the outsiders. So that is only through organizational development the company can maintain good rapport with the outsiders and the employees. Okay. Then organizational development helps to make the members willing to face organizational problems and contribute positive solutions to the organizational problems. So the fourth objective of organizational development is improve the internal behavior patterns such as interpersonal relations with colleagues, then intergroup relations. Group means there may be a combination of 2 or more members. Okay. Then level of trust among those group members and the support among the group members. So the primary benefit of the primary
you continue.
Okay, thank you, sir. The next objective of organizational development maybe one has to understand their own self. Then only they can understand others. Okay, so through organizational development, through the study of organizational development, one can understand oneself in a better way, and thereby understanding others is very important. Okay, so these are the main objectives of organizational development. So that is it helps to improve the organizational performance. It helps the employees to make themselves to be adaptive to its environment. Then it helps the members to face the any problems or adversities that is very confidently. Then that is it helps to improve the interpersonal relationship with the colleagues, team members, group members, management, etc. Then through organizational development, one can understand themselves and they can understand others also. So these are the main objectives of an organizational development. Okay. Next, we move on to the growth relevance of organizational development. There may be these three are the major trends are shaping in the organization, such as the globalization, the managerial innovation, and the information technology. The globalization may be in the form of growth, that is science and technology, communication wise, environment wise, culture wise, or wealth wise. It is known as globalization. So these are the three aspects, okay, which paves the way for improvement, that is growth in the organizational development. What are those? Globalization, then information technology, then managerial innovation. These three are the main, that is key elements of an organizational development's growth perspective. Okay. Then globalization is nothing but it is the changing the markets and environments in which the organizations operate, as well as the there is no domestic market that is there may be a new government, new leadership, new markets, and new countries are emerging. Doing business across the globe is known as globalization. So this is the main perspective of organization development growth. Okay. The second important key element for organization development's growth is information technology. So it helps to redefine the traditional business by changing how work is performed, how knowledge is used, how can be the work, how the work can be performed, how the knowledge can be used, how much cost will take if you undertake any business. These are the ways we can use information technology. So through information technology, the business can collect the information, stores the information, and manipulates the information, uses the information, and transmit the information at a low cost to increase the value of the products and services. Example for this information technology can be Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal are the examples of this information technology. Then managerial innovation. Innovation is nothing but finding new things or search for new things are known as innovation. Innovation may be in the form of introduction of the new product. Innovation may be in the form of introduction of the new technology, introduction of the new sources of supply, introduction of the new sources of supply, introduction of the new technology, new methodology. So these are called as innovation. Okay, doing new things, searching for new things, finding new things. It is called innovation. So an organization, the new organizational forms such as networks, strategic alliances, and virtual corporations provides the way of new thinking. So which helps to provide good quality goods and services to the customers. So these three, that is what are those 3 points? That is globalization, information technology, and managerial innovation are the major trends that shaping the organization's development growth. Okay. Then next we are going to discuss about the history of organizational development. History of organizational development. These are the 5 streams. 5 streams are 5 major backgrounds of organizational development. What are those? Laboratory training, action research or survey feedback, then participatory management, quality of work life, and strategic change. These are the concepts, these are the major backgrounds, these are the strengths of organizational development. The laboratory, these are the major 5 trends. Okay. That is laboratory training, a new that is a phenomenon arose in 1950s. Then the action research and survey feedback came into force in the year 1960. Then participatory management established in the year 1970. The quality of work life concept emerged in the year 1980, and the strategic change emerged in the year 1990. At present, we are that is 2000 era. We are practicing what we are practicing now is organizational development. So these are the major 5 stems of organizational development. What are those? Laboratory training, action research, participatory management, quality of work life, and the strategic change. Okay, let us discuss one by one. The laboratory training, that is, it is the first stem of the growth of national laboratories. It is otherwise known as it is otherwise called as sensitivity training or T group training. This stem is OD pioneered laboratory training, or the T group, a small unstructured group. Okay, in this participants can interact with the that is management, can interact with the team leaders, such as to solve their issues such as interpersonal relationship, personal growth, leadership, group dynamics. These are the aspects. The team members can interact with their superiors. The subordinates can interact with their superiors under laboratory training. Okay. The next one is action research and survey feedback. Action research and survey feedback. Kurt Lewin evolved the second movement of the OD emergence is that is action research. He is a prolific theorist, a researcher, practitioner in group dynamics and social science. He is the instrumentalist in implementing action research and survey feedback. Okay, so under this method, a collaborative effort was made between the organizational members and the social scientists to collect the research data about how the organization functions, how to analyze the problems, how to implement the solution. These are the aspects are covered under action research and the survey feedback. The next we move on to the participatory management. This concept, this is the third stem in the that is history of organizational development. The first stem we have discussed is laboratory training background. The second stem is action research. Now we are in the third stem, that is participatory management. Okay. This is a participatory management. As the name indicates, the management allows the workers, employees to participate in the decision making process. So this is the third stem. This is this Rennie's Lickers. Based on this Rennie's Lickers view, there may be 4 types of management system. They are exploitive authoritarian system, then benevolent authoritative systems, and consultative systems. Then participatory group systems. These are the 4 types of management systems according to Rennie's Lickers. We can refer these as the leadership style also, the exploitative, authoritative, benevolent authoritative, consultative, and participatory. These are the 4 types of management systems. Then under system 1, participatory, that is the exploitive authoritative system. This system explains the top-down approach of leadership. That is, there are 3 levels of management. One is top-level management, middle-level management, and lower-level management. This exploitative authoritative system focuses on top-down approach. That is, the instruction flow from top management to lower level employees. So employees motivation is based on the punishment. If they do any good work, they will be appreciated, and vice versa. So communication is primarily downward. Then there is lateral and interaction between the teamwork. Decision making power lies in the hands of the top management. So system 1 purely results in the mediocre performance. The second system is benevolent authoritative system. So under this system, this is similar to system 1, that is exploitative authoritative system, but except the management is more paternalistic. Management uses rewards instead of punishments in this type of benevolent authoritative system. Okay, employees are interaction, communication, and decision-making processes. Okay, but the limit and the boundaries are always decided by the management under the benevolent authoritative system. The third system is consultative system. Consultative system. Under this system, there may be positively increase in the employee's interaction. The employee can interact with the management, and the employee can communicate with the management. They can involve in decision making processes of the management. So there may be increase in the employee interaction, communication, and the decision making process of the management. Although the employees are consulted about the problems and decisions, the manager still makes final decisions. So the management gets only that is suggestions from the employees, but the final decision will be taken by the management, that is top management. In this under this consultative system, the productivity is good, the sales is good, and the profit is also good. That is the employees are moderately satisfied with the organization, not highly satisfied, because their contribution also there now, that is they are moderately satisfied with the organization. This is the third system of this is the third participative management system, that is consultative system. Then system 4 is group participatory group systems. That is participation means it is a process in which people contribute their own ideas, their own suggestions to the solutions of their problems. Okay, so participatory management is nothing but a system of management in which employees contribute to making management decisions affecting organization and their jobs. Then this system is just opposite to system 1. What is system 1? Exploitative authoritative system. Under exploitative authoritative system, the employees are not allowed in decision making process, whereas in the participatory management decisions, the employees are highly involved in setting goals, making decisions, improving methods, and appraising results. Appraising results here means performance appraisal. 360 appraisals are possible under the participatory group systems. So communication flows both laterally and vertically. So they can under the participatory group systems, the employees get the communication from the management and also from their fellow colleagues. That is laterally means horizontally, and vertically means that is bottom down. That is down top management to lower level, top to down approach. Okay, so system 4 achieves the high levels of productivity. The high levels of productivity, quality, and the members of the organization highly satisfied with their participatory group systems. These are the 4 systems. So in nutshell, we can have all the 4 systems in the one slide. That is, system 1 is autocratic system, system 2 is benevolent autocratic system, system 3 is consultative system, system 4 is participative system. Under autocratic system, the traditional decisions always taken by the management, that is unilateral actions, one-sided actions. The top management always give instruction to the subordinates. Exploitative techniques are used. This is hierarchical based, that is the information flow from top management to the lower level employees. Under the benevolent autocratic system, there may be structured decisions. It is not like exploitative, but somewhat formal. Some hierarchy is followed under this benevolent autocratic system. The system 3 deals with consultative system. Here, the friendly climate is available because the employees can easily approach their superiors. There may be supportive systems, advisory role also there, non-consensus, and that is based. Then next, the participatory system here concentrate on full consensus given to the full participation allowed developmental. That is this 4th type participatory management system paves the way for organizational development. Team building is possible in this participatory system. These are the 4 types of management systems. Then the next stem, 4th stem of organizational development is productivity and quality of work life. Productivity and quality of work life. The organizational effectiveness can also measured through productivity. If the productivity is good, the organizational development is also good. So quality of work life is also, that is the productivity and quality of work life also gain the importance by joining forces with the words of W. Edwards Deming and Joseph Juron. In this approach, the organization viewed as a set of processes that can be linked with the quality of the products and services, and modeled through statistical techniques and improved continuously. So productivity and quality of work life is the two eyes of an organization. Next, we move on to the strategic change and organizational transformation. So this is the strategic change background is a recent influence, recently added concept in the organizational development evolution. So then organization under their technological, political, social environments have become more complex and more uncertain. So the scale and intricacies of an organizational change have increased. This trend has produced the need for strategic that is perspective from the OD perspective. So then the strategic change involves improving the alignment of organization improvement, organizational environment can be improved, strategies can be improved, organizational designs can be improved. So the strategic change inventions include efforts both of the organization relationship to its environment and the fit between its technical, political, and cultural system. Outside environment also important in case of strategic change and organizational transformation. Transformation means change. Then next we move on to the important concept organizational change. Okay, change means that is anything that subject to some modification. That is called as change. That is organizations always remain same over organizations do not remain the same over the period of time. Organizations subject to change. The change may be the organization's change may be in the process. The organization change may be in the form of their strategy, structure, their operational methods, their technologies, their organizational culture. These are the common changes that are happening in the organization. So this is called organizational changes. If the changes in the structure of organization, strategies of the organization, operational methods of the organization, technology of the organization, then it is called as organizational change. Then there may be two main reasons for organizational change. There may be two main reasons for the organizational change. One is external reasons and another one is internal reasons. The external reasons are which are uncontrollable in nature, which persist outside the organization, such as the government rules and regulations, the competitor position, there is any technological advancements, then changes in public requirements, changes in the taste and preferences of the customers, changes in the taste and preferences of the outsiders also the reason for the change. Okay, so these are the external reasons which is not in our hand, which is not in organization's hand. Okay, so whereas internal reasons are just opposite to the external reasons. In the internal reasons, the changes that happen within the organization is known as internal reasons, which are controllable in nature. So change in leadership, there is a change in any leadership, then introduction of a new technology also creates some clumsiness in the organization, the domino effect for meeting crisis, if then organizational life cycle. Okay, these are the main reasons for the internal that is internal change. So the change can happen internally, both internally and externally. These are the reasons for the changes, external reasons and the internal reasons. The change may be a planned change or unplanned change, but we are talking about the planned change because the planned change is the important component for organizational development. Then reactive change, proactive change. Reactive change and proactive change mean it occurs when forces compel organization to implement change without any delay. If any change that has to be implemented immediately without any delay is known as reactive changes. Proactive changes on the other side, it occurs when some factors make realize organization think over and finally decide that implementation of particular change necessary. That is called as proactive change. The change is introduced in a planned manner. That is, we are talking about the proactive change. That is a planned change. Okay. Then planned change. Next we move on to the planned change. When changes are effected after working out when and how they will be carried out, it is called planned change. The change that is decided in advance. Planning means nothing but it is a blueprint of the proposed course of action. that is the deciding in advance is also known as planning. Okay, so the change, the well plan, that is the change that is decided in advance is known as planned change. So change is resulting from deliberate decisions to alter the organization. Okay, if you are going to modify any strategies, any operations of the organization, it is called a planned change. It is a goal-oriented activity. Changing is the goal-oriented activity. Next, we move on to the nature of planned change. There are some factors that contributing planned change. And the pace of global, economical, and technological development paves the way for the change, which is inevitable feature of organizational life. However, change happens to an organization, it can be distinguished from change that is planned by its members. Okay, so organizational development directly brings about planned change in order to increase the organizational effectiveness. Okay, it is also generally initiated and implemented by the managers, often with the help of the OD practitioners. So planned change can be used by the organization. An organization can adopt planned change due to these following reasons. And the planned change can be adopted by the organization to solve the immediate problem that prevailing in the organization. To learn from the experience is also one of the reason for the planned change. Then to adopt to the external environment. The external environment is always subject to change. So the organization must adopt themselves to their external environment in order to improve the organizational effectiveness. In order to improve the organizational performance, one has to adopt planned change to influence future changes, then to reframe shared perceptions. Perceptions means assumptions. Okay, these are the nature of planned changes. So change that happens to an organization is planned by its member is known as planned change. So the two main reasons for planned change is in order to increase organization effectiveness, capability to change oneself, change itself. So this is the main that is reasons for the planned change. Then process of planned change. Next, we move on to the process of planned change. The change can be undertaken in the organization by 4 steps. Okay, that is entering and contracting, then diagnosing, then planning and implementing, then evaluating and institutionalization. These are the that is 4 steps that involved in the change process, that is planned change process. Change is a fundamental in every organization. No organization can escape from change. Okay, change normally enables an organization in order to improve the effectiveness, efficiency of the organization, one must undertake the planned change. So change is unavoidable. Change is the permanent word in the business. So coming to entering and contracting, entering means gathering. The organization plan to gather the initial data about the problem prevailing in the organization. That is entering and contracting stage. The data gathering, the information gathering, the identification of problem or have that is in this stage. Under this entering stage, then the organization involves the gathering some initial inputs, initial problems, initial information about the problems. Okay, identification of the problem and collecting details regarding that problem, how to give solution to the problem. These are the items to be discussed in the entering and contracting stage. The second stage is diagnosing. Diagnosing is nothing but it is a process of the diagnostic process is the most important activities in organization development. It is just gathering, analyzing, and feeding back the data are known as diagnosing. Gathering the information. Once the information has been gathered, it has to be analyzed with the help of technical experts, and the feedback should be given. These are the stages in the diagnosing. Okay. The next that is element in the planned change is planning and implementing. Okay, planning is deciding in advance. Implementing is that is the plan that is subject to that is implementation. That is the action phase. Organizational members and practitioners jointly plan and implement OD intervention. They design intervention to achieve the organization vision. Vision means long-term goal or goals that make action plans to implement them. So far we have discussed about the four that is the process of planned change. Entering, that is gathering the information. Diagnosing means analyzing the collected data. Planning and implementing means the collected data should be implemented with the help of the subject experts. Evaluating and institutionalizing means giving solutions. Okay, these are the process of planned change. Next, we move on to the theories of planned change. There is three important theories of planned change. That is Levin's change model, then action research model, then contemporary action research. What are the three theories of planned change? Levin's change model, action research model, contemporary action research. These are the theories of planned change. The Levin's change model deals with three components. The Levin's model deals with three components, that is unfreezing, movement, then refreezing. Unfreezing, movement or refreezing. Okay, unfreezing, moving and refreezing. These are the three components of the Levin's change model. Let us discuss one by one. Unfreezing is nothing but this step usually involves reducing those forces maintaining the organization behavior in its present level. So unfreezing is sometimes accomplished through the process of psychological disconfirmation by introducing information that shows discrepancies between the behavior desired by the organization members and those behaviors currently exhibited. Members can be motivated to engage in change activities. So no change occurs in vacuum of no period perspective. Unlearning of old things in order to learn new things. Unfreezing involves encouraging the individual to discard old behaviors. Then unfreezing is accomplished by linking rewards with the willingness to change and linking rewards and punishment that is happening in the unfreezing state. Thus, individuals are made feel that they have to forget their old ways and accept the new way. They are forced to forget their old ways and accept the new way. This is what happening in the unfreezing stage. Next, we move on to the movement stage, and this is a step of changing or moving. Okay, it involves the intervening in the system to develop new behaviors, values, and attitudes through changes in the organizational structures and process. This is a step behavior of the organization, department, or individual to a new level. So in the first stage, they are forced to change between the from their old ways to they have to force to accept the new way. In the movement stage, they are entering into the next level, that is called movement stage. The third level is refreezing. This is the state of equilibrium, new state of equilibrium. Final step in the change process is known as refreezing. In this step, the new attitudes, values, and behaviors are established. Okay, so there are three steps in the Levin's model: unfreezing, moving, and refreezing. Before change, changing process, after change. Then action research model. Action research model. Action research model it is developed by Kurt Lewin, H.A. Shepard, and W. French. So why they have advocated this model means to implement the changes in the organization. In order to implement the changes in the organization. So action research usually guide to solve the problems in the organization in order to improve the efficiency of the organization. Then action research is nothing but it is the process of systematically collecting the data, systematical way of collecting the data of an ongoing system it may be related to some objectives, some goals or need of that system, feeding those data into the system, taking action, implementation, and taking actions are the process of action research model. Action research model always a cyclical process. It is starting with problem identification, then a problem formulation of problems, then gathering the data related to the particular problem, and implementing the collecting the data, analyzing the data, implementing the data, then taking corrective actions and assessing the progress, making ongoing judgments and learning from new experience. This is a cyclical process of action research model. Action research model is used to provide immediate solution to the problem. Next one, steps in action research model. These are the major steps. These are the 8 steps. These 8 steps are steps in the action research model. Okay. The first one is problem identification. Problem identification is nothing but this stage usually begins when a key executive in the organization or someone with power or influence, that is, the organization has one or more problems that might be solved with the help of the OD practitioner. The second step in the action research model is during the initial contact, the OD practitioner and the client carefully assess each other. The practitioner has his or her own normative developmental theory. A frame of references must be consensus with the assumptions and values. Okay, this is a collaborative work of behavioral sciences. Then the third one is data gathering and the preliminary diagnosis. This is third step in the action research model. This step is usually completed by the OD practitioners, okay, often in conjunction with organizational members. It involves gathering the appropriate information from the society and analyzing it from determine the underlying cause of organizational problems. The 4 basic methods of gathering data are there are several methods of gathering the data. The 4 important methods are interviews. Through interviews, we can collect the data. Through the process observation, we can collect the data. Through the questionnaires, we can collect the data. Through the organizational performance data, one can collect the data. So data gathering and the preliminary diagnosis. First, preliminary means the foremost analyzing is the third step in the data gathering, that is action research model. The fourth step in the action research model is the feedback step. Feedback. Getting feedback is very important to know the progress and growth of the organization. So the feedback step in which members are given the information gathered by the OD practitioners, so which helps them to determine the strength and weakness of the organization. Through the feedback, the organization can able to find out their own strength and weaknesses of the organization. It may be organization strength and weakness. It may be a particular department's strength and weakness. So the consultant provides the client with the relevant and useful data for their betterment. Obviously, the practitioners will protect the confidential sources of information. At times, sometimes they withhold the data if it is a controversial data. This is the fourth step. Getting feedback is very important to improve ourselves, improve as the organizational perspective. Then the fifth step in the action research model is that is joint diagnosis of the problem. As I already told you, it is analyzing of problem. At this point, members discuss the feedback, what are the positives and negatives, and explore explain with the OD practitioners whether they want to work on identified problems. They have to find solution in this perspective. There is a close interrelationship between data gathering and the feedback and analysis of the data. So joint diagnosis of the problem is the fifth step in the action research process. Next, we move on to the joint action planning. Joint action planning is this is the beginning of the moving process. That is the Levin change model. This is the moving process that organization decide how best to reach different quasi stationary equilibrium. In this stage, the specific action to be taken related to the culture, related to the technology, it may be related to the environment. The diagnosis of the problem is happening in the joint action planning. The seventh step in the action research model is action. It means this stage involves the actual change from one organization to another. Okay, it may be the action may be in the form of new methods or procedures, reorganizing the structures, reorganizing the work designs, new enforcing the new behaviors. These are the action processes in the action research model. The last and final step in the action research model is data gathering after the action. Once the action, because the action research is a cyclical process. We have discussed in the definition itself. Action research is a cyclical process. It starts from the that is problem identification, data collection. It ends with the feed. That is it's end with the implementation process. So data must also be gathered after the action has been taken to measure and determine the effects of the action and to feed the results back to the organization. So this is the cyclical process of that is action research. So problem identification, consultation with the behavioral science expert, data gathering and the preliminary diagnosis, and then feedback to a key client or group, joint diagnosis of the problem, joint action planning, action, data gathering, and after action. Data gathering after action is also important. Okay, so these are the 8 steps involved in the action research model. Next, we move on to the contemporary adaptation of the action research. Contemporary action research. It is nothing but the trends in the application of the action research include movement of the smaller subunit of organization into the total systems and the communities. Okay, so action research is also applied increasingly in international settings in order to choose the positive subjects, collect positive stories, examine the data, and developing a vision plan, developing an action plan, and evaluating. So these are the contemporary action research. So contemporary application have increased substantially the degree of number of involvement in the change process. Then there are 3 dimensions of the planned change. There are 3 dimensions of the planned change. It may be called as general model of the planned change. Okay, so the first type of planned change is magnitude of change. The second type is degree of organization. The third one is planned change in an under-organized system. Magnitude of change, then degree of organization, then planned change in an under-organized system. So magnitude of change is nothing but incremental changes tend to involve the limited dimensions and the level of the changes. So planned changes traditionally has been applied in situations involving incremental change. So planned change involves a relatively bounded set problem solving activity. The change that is magnitude means the increase in change level, increase the fluctuations in the change level positively, that is the incremental change. So organization may undertake quantum of change from a development perspective. Any organization, it may be a large scale organization, small scale, medium scale organization, but any organization, they have to take some quantum of some amount of change in their organization for their own growth. Okay, then degree of organization is the second dimension of the planned change. The degree of organization also the second type of the planned change. So planned change depends on the degree to which the organization or what extent the change has happened. This is called degree of organization. Okay, so communication between the management and employees is typically suppressed, the conflicts are avoided. So this, there may be 4 important steps in the degree of organization planned change. Maybe identification, convention, then organization, evaluation. So in the identification stage, that is this step identifies the relevant people or the relevant group who need to be involved in the change program. Under the convention step, and the relevant people or relevant departments in the company are brought together to begin organizing for the task performance. The organization part concentrates among creation of new structures, new interactions among the people and in the departments. Then evaluation stage deals with this is the final outcome of the organization. So this is called degree of organization. Then under the planned change in under-organized system, it deals with the change agent is a person from industry who identify the multifaceted problem. There are different problems will prevail in the organization. So this will help. That is the planned change in the under-organized system. That is according to IMAR, that is Institute of Manufacturing Automation Research, has established this kind of changes. So these are the three types of changes. Then domestic versus international settings, and the change can be the planned change can be that is traditional have been that is applicable. There are two settings in the um, changes that is applicable in North America and European settings, outside North America and European context fit to the cultural context. These are the domestic versus international settings. When OD is applied, that is planned change efforts traditionally have been applied in the that is it is traditionally applied in the North American and European settings, but increasingly are used outside for those cultures. When OD is applied to outside of North American and European context, the action research process must be adapted to fit the cultural context. Then there are some critics of planned change. There are some critics of planned change. They are the organization that is according to Porras and Robertson, they have identified some critics of planned change also. It is that is the organizational features that can be changed, the intended outcomes from making those changes, the causal mechanisms by which those outcomes are achieved, the contingencies upon which the successful change depends. Okay, these are the four main critiques given by Porras and Robertson about the planned change. Then next we move on to the components of organizational development. There are three important components of organizational development. There are three important components of the organizational development. One is diagnosis, another one is action, another one is program management. These are the three components of the organizational development: diagnosis, action, and program management. So all the OD programs have these three basic components: the diagnosis, action, and the program management. Then the diagram that is in the diagnosis component represents a continuous collection of data about the total system. So the data gathering that is the data gathering part focuses on diagnostic component, then its subunits and its process and its culture. The action component, and the action component deals with all the activities or intervention designed to improve the organization functioning. All the activities comprising of organizational development is known as action process. The activities are denoted as action. Information gathering, data gathering is called as diagnosis. Whereas the program management component encompasses all the activities designed to ensure success of the program. In order to measure the success of the program management component is used. So diagnosis is used for data collection. Action is used for setting of activities, that is a series of activities. Program management is used for measurement of success of a that is introduction of the planned change. These are the three main components of the organizational development. Then next we move on to the 6-box model. Next we move on to the 6-box model of the organizational development. Okay, so this is introduced by Marvin Webster's 6-box model. So under this, assume an organization has several problems with its own products. These problems will have their causes in dysfunctional process located in one or more boxes. So the problems could be caused by ill-advised structures or poor leadership or unclear purposes, then lack of helpful mechanisms. It may be due to several reasons. Okay, so these are the 6 factors, that is purpose, the structure, the rewards, the helpful mechanisms, the relationships, that is leadership. These are the 6-box model. Purposes deals with what business are we in. The structure deals with how do we divide up the work. The structure deals with how do we divide up the work. Whereas the rewards deal with do all needed tasks have incentives, all the tasks are linked with the incentives. Okay, this is called reward box. Then next one is helpful mechanism. Have we adequate coordinating technology? Do we have adequate coordinating technologies? This is called 5th box, that is the helpful mechanisms. Then relationships. How do we manage conflict among people? Conflict means there may be difference of opinion, disagreements, which paves the way for conflict. So how we are going to manage the conflicts? How we are going to maintain the smooth relationship, cordial relationship with the employees. So this is what called as relationships. Then leadership is, does someone keep the boxes in balance? So how we are going to maintain the other 5 boxes, that is purpose, structure, reward, self mechanism, relationship, all that is the leader has to concentrate on all these 5 boxes, that is purpose, structure, reward, self mechanisms, and the relationships. Okay. Then we are going to discuss the next concept, third wave consulting. Third wave consulting. So this is the, according to Webster, this is the 4 useful practices for organizational development. That is, we have to assess the potential for action. That is, look for the situation which come with committed leadership, good business opportunities with the energized people. Then getting the whole system. Then focus on the future. If we implement any change, we have to focus on the future. Then structure task that people can do for themselves. This optimistic, goal-oriented view for helping people in the organization is a valuable prospect. Then the action component of the OD is known as OD interventions. OD interventions is nothing but the set of structured activities. There are 4 conditions for successful OD interventions. Typically, one of the 4 conditions give rise to the need of OD intervention. They are: first, the organization has a problem. It means something has to be some problem has to be there. Okay. Then corrective actions are required for that problems. Then second, the organization sees the unrealized opportunity, something it wants it beyond it to reach. Enabling actions, interventions are developed to seize the opportunity. Third condition is the features of the organization are out of alignment. The parts of the organizations are working at cross purposes, the of alignment activities, interventions. The fourth one is vision guiding the organizational changes. Vision means long-term aim is known as vision. Then program management. Program management action. The program management that is action programs in ODs are closely related with explicit goals and objectives. Careful attention is given to the translating goals into observable explicit objectives. Then the diagnosis, action taking, goal setting are linked with the OD programs. These are linked with the OD programs. Then diagnosis activities precede action program. That is, fact finding provides a foundation for the action. So actions are continuously evaluated for their contribution to goal accomplishment. So goals are continuously evaluated for whether they are attainable or not. Okay, but the goals has to be that is continuously evaluated. Then the action research can be a process and an approach. Action research can be treated as a process and an approach. So action research can be a process and an approach. So action research may be described as a process. Action research may be described as a process, that is an ongoing series of events or actions. Okay. Then action research is systematically collecting the data about an ongoing problem. Then it helps to, that is it is based on some objectives, some goals or needs of the system, feeding these data into the system, taking actions and altering the selected variables. It is called action research process. Okay. So action research can be understood in 2 different ways. One is it is a set of sequence of activities. Other one, it is a cyclical process, cycle of iterations. Then OD interventions. OD interventions are nothing but the series of activities are called OD interventions. Series of set of activities which are selected organizational units, that is target groups, that may be individuals engaged in task or sequence of the task which goals of organizational involvement, and individual development. So intervention constitute the action component of the OD cycle. So intervention means the action part of the OD is known as intervention. The action part of the OD is known as OD intervention. There are 4 attributes of an OD intervention. There are 4 attributes of an OD intervention. The OD practitioners or the OD consultants adds value. They can add value in many ways. The 4 sets of OD interventions are the set of values, the set of assumptions about the people, organization, and the interpersonal relationship, a set of goals for the practitioners, organization, and its members, a set of structured activities that are means of the achieving the values, assumptions, and the goals. Okay, these activities are what refer to as OD interventions. Intervention strategies may be based on the results of the diagnostic process. Okay, so these are the 4 attributes: set of values, set of assumptions, set of goals, set of structured activities. Set of values, set of assumptions, set of goals, and set of structured activities are the attributes of OD intervention. Then there are different factors that contribute for the implementation of OD intervention. There are different factors that contribute for OD intervention. They are there has been an intervention strategy. There may be some strategy for implementing the OD intervention. Then there may be some activities to promote learning, and the change must be structured effectively. So the technique may be make sure all the relevant people are included. We have to we have to make sure allow the client group to identify the problems and opportunities. Then make sure that the climate is appropriate for openness. We have to teach them about the task and the process. Task means what has to be done. Then process means how it has to be done. Okay. Then engage the whole person in the intervention. Get them to talk about their own thoughts, ideas, feelings, concern, beliefs. Okay. So that is the activities to promote learning that must be structured effectively. Okay. Then the 4th factor in implementing OD intervention is choosing and sequencing the intervention activities carefully. So it helps to maximize the effectiveness, it maximizes the efficiency, it helps to maximize the speed, it helps to maximize the relevance, it helps to minimize the psychological and organizational strain. It helps to reduce the stress level among the employees of the organization. So one has to choose and sequence the intervention activities carefully, that is wisely. Before choosing any intervention strategies, the management must take care of. Then the 4th factor in implementing OD intervention is different interventions have different dynamics. That is, each intervention should have selected in relation to casual factors and the nature of the underlying problem. That is, some casual mechanisms are theory, intervention, behavioral science, relationship of intervention focuses on interpersonal relationship. Then where there are strong negative feelings brings issues to surface some problems. So cultural interventions, organizational structural interventions. So different interventions have different dynamics. Next, we move on to the classification of OD intervention. Next, we move on to the classification of OD intervention. There may be 2 main classifications of OD intervention. One is the objective of the intervention, another one is the target of the intervention. One is the objective of the intervention, another one is the target of the intervention. So these 2 main categories can be further subdivided into 14 major categories. That is diagnostic activities, team building activities, intergroup activities, survey feedback activities, education and training activities, techno-structural or structural activities, then process consultation activities, then grid organizational development activities, then third party peacemaking activities, coaching and counseling activities, life and career planning activities, then planning and goal setting activities, then strategic management activities, then organizational transformation activities. These are the 14 classifications of the interventions. So the diagnostic activities are nothing but the fact-finding activities are known as diagnostic activities.
ஜெனிட்டா ஆரோக்கியசாமி தானே? எனக்கு பாருங்க கரெக்டா சொல்றாங்க. அவங்க அடிக்கடி உள்ள வந்துட்டே தான் இருந்தாங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எல்லாம்.
சார்
ஒரு நிமிஷம் சார். நான் சொல்லுங்க மேடம்.
நான் கண்டினியூ பண்ணலாம்ல சார்?
நீங்க பண்ணுங்க 10:30 வரைக்கும் உங்களுக்கு டைம் இருக்கு.
ஓகே ஷூர். Thank you, sir. So the diagnostic activities are mainly based on the fact-finding activities. It is designed to ascertain the state of the system, state of the problem, status of the problem, and things like that. Then team building activities. Team building activities is designed to enhance the effective operations of the system teams. Then intergroup activities concentrate on improve the effectiveness of the interdependent groups. Those must be cooperate to produce the common output. Then survey feedback activities are aimed to that activities that focuses on the uses of questionnaires. That is, the questionnaire carries list of questions. So through the questionnaires, one can gather some information when it is used for identify the problems as well as the opportunities. Then education and training activities are the fourth, that is the fifth classification of OD intervention is that is education and training activities designed to improve the skills, knowledge, abilities of employees in the organization. Then the sixth, that is OD intervention is techno-structural or structural activities purely based on the technology, designed to improve the organizational structures and job design by using the technology, new technologies. Then process consultation activities helps in that is perceiving, understanding, and acting upon the process events which occur in the client's environment. Then organization development activities, that is this is based on the Blake and Mountains model. So it is a long-term process, grid organization model. Blake and Mountain model, that is 5.5, 1.1, middle of 5.5, middle of the man, like that. 9,1, 1,9, that is a Blake and Mountain model. Then third-party peacemaking activities, that is it is used for skilled third party aimed at helping organizational members. Then coaching and counseling activities can be that is consultation works through define learning goals, learn how others see their behavior, learn new behaviors to better achieve their own goals. These are the coaching and consultative activities. That is coaching and counseling activities. Counseling, that means providing advice to the fellow teammates. Then life and career planning activities also focused on life and career objectives and how to go about attaining them. So it includes goal setting, assessment, training. Then planning and goal setting activities also important. Then strategic management activities also helping the key policy makers. Then organizational transformation activities also focusing on large scale production. So these are the major classifications of OD interventions. These are the possible results of OD intervention. These are the, as we all know, already know that OD intervention are a set of structured activities, set of planned activities are known as OD intervention. These are the possible outcomes. These are the possible results of OD intervention. If you implement any interventions in your organization, these are the possible outcomes. That is the feedback. You will get the feedback. If you introduce any new thing, definitely we will get the feedback. Then obviously awareness of changing socio-cultural norms or dysfunctional current norms increased in communication. Then confrontation, it means surfacing and examining the differences. Then education, that means knowledge and the concepts, beliefs, attitudes, skills. This is called education. Then participation may be in the form of problem solving, goal setting, and the idea generation. Then increased accountability may be in the form of clarifying the responsibility and monitoring the performance. Then increased energy and optimism. The future is desirable, worthwhile, and attainable. So these are the possible results of the OD interventions. Then next we move on to the team intervention concept. These interventions are techniques. These are the techniques and methods designed to change the culture of the organization. So the techniques and methods that designed to change the culture of the organization is known as team intervention. Okay. So this is called a team intervention. Then team. What do you mean by team? Team is nothing but it is a small number of people with the complementary skills. Each one is unique. Everybody have their own skill and ability, who are committed to a common purpose. They are working for the common purpose. They are having the set of performance goal and approach for which they hold themselves mutually accountable, according to John and Douglas. So this is called a combination of small number of people with complementary skills and a common purpose. A set of performance goals are known as teams. The members of the team is known as team members. The leader of the team is known as team leader. Then work groups. Next, we move on to the concept work group. Work group is the number of persons usually reporting to a common superior and having some face-to-face interaction. So, a group of persons who are reporting to a common superior, they have only one boss. So, having some face-to-face interaction, who have some degree of interdependence in carrying out the work in order to achieve the organization objectives is known as work group. Okay. So there may be a team is a form of group. A team is a form of group. Okay. Then cross-functional teams. Cross-functional team is nothing but these teams are widely used in organizations, and OD approaches have great utility in the formation and ongoing of these groups. The cross-functional teams are typically comprised of individuals who have functional home base, that is manufacturing, then designing, engineering, marketing, who meet regularly to solve the ongoing challenges requiring input from a number of functional areas. Large companies like Motorola, Ford, General Electric, as well as many small and medium-sized organizations have used cross-functional teams. Okay. Then characteristics. Next, we move on to the characteristics of an effective team. These are the characteristics of an effective team. The team should have the clear purpose. The atmosphere tends to be relaxed and comfortable. The group task is well understood and acceptable by all the members of the group. The members must listen each other. There is a lot of tasks relevant for discussion in which most members participate. Participation in the team is very, very important. People express both their feelings and ideas. The group self-conscious about its own operation. Decisions are usually based on the consensus, not majority. Majority never wins. So when actions are decided upon, clear assignments are made and accepted by the member. So there must be a clear purpose. Then participation, everyone are encouraged to participate. Listening is very, very important. Of course, listening will pave the way for questioning, paraphrasing, and summarizing. Then civilized disagreement. Team is comfortable with disagreement also. It does not. We cannot avoid that is conflicts, but we can overcome conflicts. Then consensus decision making is also very, very important. The voting must be taken based on the consensus, not by the majority. Open communications should be allowed among the team members. Their roles and responsibilities should be clearly mentioned. Then external relations with the outside relationship, the relationship with the creditors, competitors, the outside. There must be a smooth relations between the outside environment also. Style diversity also very, very important. This is assessed through self-assessment, periodic examination. Then formal group diagnostic meeting, and the formal group diagnostic meeting is nothing but the purpose of the formal group diagnostic meeting is to conduct general critique of the performance of the group. That is that is where we are going and how we are doing. Where we are going and how we are doing. This is what uncover and identify the problem so that they can work on. Then these are the purpose of team building. The purpose may be to get the right people, a large block of uninterrupted time to work for the high priority problems, to attain the realistic solutions. The solutions should be realistic. These are the purpose of team building, main purpose of team building. Then several techniques can be used in team building. These are the techniques, that is role analysis technique, then role negotiation technique, then responsibility charting, then 4 classes of behavior. That is, these are the main techniques that is used in the team building concept. The role techniques analysis deals with designed to clarify the role expectations and obligations of the team members in order to improve the team effectiveness. They should be clearly explained about their roles and responsibilities. If I'm working in the organization, I must be clear about my roles and responsibilities. That is called role analysis technique. Then role negotiation technique is it deals with the intervenes directly in the power, authority. One can understand the difference between the power and the authority. Okay, power is the ability of the person, whereas authority comes from the position one held. Okay, and then influence within the group. Okay, then responsibility charting, that is, it clarifies who is responsibility charting clarifies who is responsible with that is responsibility means one who accountable to that is we are responsible to conduct some activities in an organization. An employee responsible to answer some carry out some work, answer some questions. So responsibility. Then four classes of behavior may be identified with regard to the techniques of team building. That maybe one has to take the responsibility. Once responsibility has been taken, then accountability also comes to that person. Then approval is required to carry out that particular work. Then support is needed to carry out that work. Then once the task has been completed, he has to report. He has to inform the superior. This is called four classes of behavior. So responsibility to initiate action to ensure the decision carried out. For example, it would be a department head's responsibility to intimate the department budget. Then approval required, that is the particular item must be reviewed by the particular role player, and this person has the option of either that is approving it or rejecting it. Then support is very very important. Then that is the team members must be informed about their roles and responsibilities. If any work allotted to the subordinates from the superior, they have to inform their work, the work done by them to the superior. Then issues and problems in OD. These are the main issues in the organizational development. Okay, so the problems with the definitions and the concepts, the problems with the internal validity, the problems with the external validity, problems with the lack of theory, the problems with the measuring attitude change. These are the that is problems with the normal science. These are the main issues and problems in the organizational development. So the primary problem is concerning with the distinction of that is the concepts and the definitions provided in the organizational development itself. Then problems with the internal validity. This is the second difficulty regarding internal validity. Internal validity is the basic minimum without which any experiment is unidentifiable. So there is a problem which is common to all research. So much is going to the real world situation that is difficult to pinpoint what causes the changes that occur. Okay. Then the problem with external validity means asking the questions of generalization. So generalization concepts are the major problems in the external validity. Then problem with the lack of theory deals with that is the another problem is most OD research is not theory guided research. Without an established theory and organizational development, the relations among the variables and variables themselves are unknown. So this is a lack of theoretical concept. Next one, problems with measuring attitudinal change. The attitudinal change, that is, if response becomes more favorable, the results taken as evidence. If the response is stay the same or become less favorable, the result is taken as the evidence. That is a negative effect. The first, that is, if the response is favorable, there may be a positive effect. The response is unfavorable or less favorable, the effect is negative effect. Then problem with normative science here means there is increasing in the number of theories and researchers are rejecting normal science. Okay. Then there are some positive developments also there. There are some positive developments also there in the organizational development. The positive development may include the better theories, improved study designs, then improved measurement, better statistical methods, then good use of meta-analysis techniques. They notice that the shift away from research on social factors such as interpersonal relations, management values, and so on. So the shift represents moving towards examining organizational level issues. So there are some positive development also there in the organizational development. We can compare the old logic with the new logic of organizational principle, practices, and assumptions. Based on the old logic, organizations are a secondary source of competitive advantage, whereas in the new logic, organizations are considered as the ultimate competitive advantage. Old principle deals with bureaucracy is the most effective source of control, whereas in the new logic, involvement of the most effective source of control. Then the top under the old logic, the top management and the technical experts should add most of the value. Whereas in the new logic, all employees are treated equally. All employees have the influence in the organizational functions. Then under the hierarchical old logic, hierarchical processes are the key organizational effectiveness. It may be a hierarchical means top medium and low level. Top level that is top level, middle level, low level management. The instruction always that is flow from the top management to the lower level employees. There is a hierarchical process in the hierarchical process is followed in the old logic, whereas in the new logic, lateral process that is horizontal process are taken care of new logic. Then organization should be designed around the functions. There are different functions performed by the organization: marketing, finance function, human resource function. Whereas in the new logic, organization should be designed around based on the products and the customers. Products and customers should be given importance in the case of new logic. Then effective managers are the key to organizational development. Is the old logic. Leadership is the key element in the new logic. So these are the assumptions, principles, practices that is between the old logic and the new logic. Next one, the issues in client and consultant relationship. There are several issues. Entry and contracting. Already we have discussed about entry and contracting. It is the initial stage of gathering information. The information gathering stage itself, the consultant and client relationship has some issues. The entering and contracting process constitute the initial activities of the OD process. They set the parameters for the phases of planned change, that is diagnosing, planning, implementing change, and evaluating and institutionalization. Then defining client that is defining the client system itself. That is, it is the biggest issue in the cluster, that is consultant client relationship. So the relevant client includes that is those organizational members who can directly impact the change issue, whether it is solving a particular problem or improving an already successful organization or the department. Okay. Then the trust issue deals with developing a relationship of mutual trust, lies with the interaction between the client and the consultant. Then depth of interventions also play a vital role in the client, that is the client consultant relationship. On being absorbed by the culture, the consultant as a model, the consultant team as a microscope, then action research and OD process, client dependency and terminating the relationship, ethical standards in OD, implications of OD of the client. These are the main issues in the consultant client relationship. Then to conclude, OD interventions in the Indian organization, maybe in today's environment where changes are rapid, learning is no longer a mere luxury, but permanent necessity. Is learning process are carefully nurtured in the organization. So while various methods like individual and group interviews, workshops, questionnaires and observations can be used as tools, and success of an audit as intervention depends upon the efficiency of implementation in post-audit phase also. The challenge of audit practitioners is to ensure the learning process are linked with the, that is, learning is very, very important. So in today's environment where changes are going to happen very fast, learning is no longer a mere luxury, but a permanent necessity. Thank you. Sir, shall I wind up the session, sir?
Hello, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. அவங்க ஜெனிட்டா வந்துட்டாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் லைன்ல.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
நீங்க பிரசன்டேஷனை க்ளோஸ் பண்ணீங்க.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
உங்களோட ஷேரிங் இருக்கு மேடம், ஸ்டாப் ஷேரிங் பண்ணுங்க.
Okay, sir. I will stop sharing, sir.
Janita madam.
Sir, I'm online. Shall I continue? Start, sir.
நீங்க ஆன் ஆரம்பிச்சலாம்.
Okay, sir.
கேமரா ஆன் ஆகலன்னு நினைக்கிறேன்.
Okay, sir. Is my face is visible, sir?
Yeah, madam. அவங்க நீலா மேடம் வந்து க்ளோஸ் பண்ணாம இருக்காங்க.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
நீலா மேடம் உங்களை க்ளோஸ் பண்ணீங்க.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. இந்த பிரசன்டேஷன்ல இருக்கு மேடம், ஸ்டாப் ஷேரிங் கொடுத்துங்க.
Okay, sky விட்டுச்சு.
ஓகே மேடம். ஜெனிட்டா மேடம் உங்க மைக் ஆன் பண்ணீங்க.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, now you are visible.
Is my face is visible, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Good morning, all. This is Dr. Janita from Maruthupandiyar College, Assistant Professor and Research Advisor in Management Studies. First of all, I want to thank Bharathasan University and Dr. V. Suresh Kumar sir, Head at Research Department, Raja Sarfoji College, and Coordinator of CDE Tanjuzo, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I feel very glad. Sir?
Full screen வச்சீங்க.
Full screen. Okay, sir. Okay. Is it okay now, sir?
இல்ல மேடம், நான் ஃபுல்லா வரல. ஒரு நிமிஷம் நம்ம செக் பண்றோம்.
Okay, sir.
Okay, madam.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Presentation வச்சிருக்கீங்களா?
Yeah, sir. I'm having.
Okay, பண்ணிடுவீங்களா? ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்ல.
No problem, sir. I can handle it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, madam. Carry on.
Okay, sir. Okay. I feel more glad to see all the future HR managers in this online platform. And I want to say that you have chosen a wonderful elective, since this HR field is having chunk number of opportunities in future also, and it's currently also we are having chunk number of opportunities. And my HR managers, you all having a bright future. Why I'm saying this as a wonderful elective means HR is considered to be the key asset of an organization, right? An organization can run without a proper building, proper furniture, or proper assets, but an organization cannot run without an employee. So we consider this HR, this manpower, to be the key asset of an organization. You, the future managers, are going to safeguard this key asset of an organization, and you are having this responsibility to safeguard the key asset of an organization. This is why I'm insisting that you are selected a wonderful opportunity, a wonderful elective, and so you are having a wonderful opportunity in the future. And I hope you all will get placed in a wonderful organization, and your future will be a wonderful one. Okay, I don't want to take much of your time. Let's get into our topic. Our title is compensation management. See, compensation. Let me share my slides. Sir, is my slide is visible? Sir? Sir, is my slide is visible? I hope so. My slide is visible to you all. And I want to just get into our topic. Our elective paper now is HR. See, as I said, HR seems to be a key asset of an organization. This compensation plays a vital role in it. Okay, we can define this compensation as a total of all rewards provided to the employee in return for the service he has done to the organization. Literally, we can say what else he is receiving from the organization for the work which he has done. So, right. So, in management, obviously, we all know that management is out of getting things done through people. So, compensation management plays a vital role for an HR manager in safeguarding the key asset. As we said, key asset or the manpower for an organization. So, right. So, being an HR manager, you need to know what sort of compensation will work it out for an employee. You need to decide whether compensation of an employee will satisfy, whether the compensation of the employee will motivate in the your employees, right? So, being an HR manager, you need to decide. Let's see what sort of compensation methods are there in at present. Okay. I hope my slide is visible. See, in compensation, we are having two forms. One is monetary one, that is monetary means financial one. Another one is non-monetary one. Monetary benefits, we can say this financial rewards as a monetary benefits. Example is, we can say money. We can say only money, right? Money in forms of anything. It can be bonus, it can be salary, or it can be commission, or it can be anything, incentives, right? So this compensation can be either in form of financial one or non-financial one. Financial one means, we call it financial one means we can easily see, we can say that it is tangible one. This financial reward can fulfill the needs of financial needs of an employee. Whereas the non-financial reward is, we can say it as a non-monetary reward, which are intangible in nature. We cannot see it. We can only feel it. We can only, this non-tangible or non-financial reward can fulfill the psychological needs of an employee. Right. For this, we can give an example as appreciation, recognition, promotion, etc. See, now we can clearly understand that this compensation is what else an employee is receiving in form of rewards for the work which he has done. This compensation management can also be known as wage and salary administration, remuneration management, reward management, so and so. Okay. Now let's move on to components of compensation. What are the things which makes the compensation management? What sort of things are inside in that compensation? What sort of things we can see is, we can see in form of wages, we can see in form of salary, we can see in form of incentives, we can see in form of fringe benefits, and so on. Okay. So these makes the entire compensation system. Why an HR manager should concentrate on this compensation management means, since you are in the responsibility to protect the key asset, for that this compensation plays a vital role. See, what sort of things will this compensation makes the HR manager possible means, this compensation system makes us to realize that employees are the key asset, right? So let's see the goals of an organization compensation. See why an HR manager should concentrate on this compensation system. First and foremost thing is for attaining and retaining the employees, right? For attaining means for grabbing your employees to your organization. For retaining means we need to retain. See, for example, if an employee is getting into an organization and the organization is giving in the trainings, the organization is giving all sort of things which is required for that employee. So after a year or after 6 months, if the employee is quitting out this organization means, see, just calculate how much of money was wasted, how much of time was wasted. So this compensation system only decides, and this compensation system only attains and retains your employee. So as a HR manager, you need to concentrate on this compensation system, right? So let's see the different forms of compensation. First one is, we all know that wages. Money form is wages, salary, and so on. And in in salary, we use while seeing the wages, we can see this form of wages for the blue collar jobs. Whereas we are using the word, even see, the blue collar jobs are also providing money. The white collar jobs are also providing money, but the words are different, right? But we all know the differences between salary and wages. You might be studying in your HR core papers. I don't want to get more into it. So wages means we are giving for the blue collar jobs, and for salary, it's for white collar jobs, right? So next one is incentives. Incentives can be defined as additional payment to the employees. Additional payments means apart from the salary, what else we are giving in form of money is called as incentives. Okay. So incentives are considered to be an additional payment only. So besides salary, besides wages, besides money, this incentives plays a vital role. So what else an employee is receiving as an additional payment for the work which he has done is called as incentives. And moving on to the fringe benefits, we can define the fringe benefits as additional benefits. Additional benefits means apart from money, apart from salary, apart from monetary things, there are also something which is motivating. There are also something which is satisfying an employee. We call those benefits as an fringe benefits. Okay, fringe benefits can be defined as additional benefits given to an employee by the employer. What else an employer is giving to the employee for satisfying and for motivating his employee is called as fringe benefits. Okay. So why an employer should give all sort of fringe benefits? See, an employer is giving salary, right? Apart from that, why he has to give this fringe benefits and all means, as we seen in previous time, this compensation only makes a HR manager to attain and retain his employees. So if an HR manager is retaining his employee for a long term means, ultimately it leads to increase in you can see a good sign in the productivity, right? If an employee is working there for a long term, and if an organization is showing a decreased job switching over rate, we can see a good sign in productivity. So this two things, the decrease in job switching over rate and increase in productivity, ultimately shows a good sign in long-term survival. An organization which is focusing on this compensation system will show a long-term survival. So this is how these three are interrelated. So when an organization is focusing on the compensation system, there we can see a decreased job switchover rate. There we can see an increased productivity. There we can see a long-term survival. That's right. So in fringe benefits, we can see two types. One is fringe benefits received by the law, and another one is fringe benefits received without intervention of law. What else can be given as an employer? Example for law means, insisted by law means, so these things are mandatory. We can say these benefits are mandatory. As an employer should give these things. This is rendered by the law. As law, we have to give these things to our employee. So on seeing this type, what else can be an example is social security, health insurances, medical leave, etc. Okay. So another type of fringe benefit is fringe benefits not required by the law. Not required by the law means surely it won't be a mandatory one, right? So if it is required by the law, it will be a mandatory one. If it is not required by the law, it won't be a mandatory one. We can say it as a voluntary. If the employer wants to give, he can give. So there is no compulsion in it. Okay. So for that, what can we give an example is, we can give an example of paid leave. We can give an example of paid holiday trip. We can give an example of club membership, so and so. So these things are seen to be non-mandatory. It is only voluntary. So we can see two types of fringe benefits. One is fringe benefits required by the law, and another one is fringe benefits not required by the law. And the last one is perquisites. This is mainly given for the managerial position, that is for executives compensation. We can see this perquisites. So example for this is, we can say car, we can say free residential accommodation. We can say that these executives can be given education loan for their kids. They will be given free loan for the medical facilities. They will be given gadgets. They will be given so and so. So these are the things which is given for the higher executive levels. Okay, these are called as prerequisites. So moving on to the now, I hope you all get cleared about what is meant by compensation and what makes a HR manager to see about this compensation. What else makes a component of a compensation? And now it's time to know how an HR manager should design this compensation system. See, in an organization, there will be n number of employees. As a HR manager, we need to read all the brains of employees. Mr. X can get motivated and satisfied if we provide monetary benefits. And if Y may be depending upon non-monetary reward system. So as a HR manager, we need to decide what will work it out. So we need to decide what sort of things will motivate your employee. As we all know that human minds are volatile in nature. Volatile in nature means it will get wandering. If an ex-employee is giving monetary benefits for a particular time, means he may expect some non-monetary rewards after a particular time. So as a HR manager, you need to decide what will work out to improve the motivation and satisfaction of your employees. Okay, so now we have to think about this compensation designing is, we need to think about this compensations designing to foremost thing is we need to avoid conflicts. And furthermore that we need to improve the productivity. Without your employees, you cannot run your organization, right? So as a HR manager, you need to avoid the conflict issues which is arising in your organization. And ultimately, you need to increase the productivity of your organization. So all these things relies on your hands. So as a HR manager, you need to see how this compensation system should be designed. There are 3 familiar models for this. I hope my slide is clear in your side. There are 3 things, okay? 3 things which is used for designing your compensation system. So what are the 3 things means? One is position-based compensation design. Another one is person-based compensation design. And another one is performance-based compensation design. Okay. So if let's see one by one. If an HR manager is designing the compensation system based on the position means we can say it as a hierarchy, we can say it as a grade, we can say it as a ranking, so and so. Okay. So based on the position, if an employee is getting compensation means we can say it as a position based. And if it is, and second one is person based compensation system. And if the HR manager is, let me move the slide. I hope my slide is visible. And if the compensation is based on the person, we call it as a person-based compensation system. Person-based compensation means based on the person, the compensation system is getting fixed. Being an HR manager, you need to differentiate, you need to show differentiation in the compensation also. We cannot fully give a single form to all employees. So we need to show some differentiation. If we are focusing on the person means we can say that person age, person experience, person skill, person qualification, and so knowledge, we can say it as a knowledge, If you are fixing the compensation based on the individual person's skill, knowledge, experience, means we call it as a person-based mode compensation, right? And third one is performance-based compensation system. Performance-based compensation system is we are designing the compensation system only based on the performance of an employee. Only based on the performance. If he is performing well, he'll be getting nice. And if he's not performing well, he won't be getting anything. So if a compensation system is designed based on their individual job performance, means we call it as a performance-based model, right? So these are the three familiar models which are getting practiced in our current time. So I hope these three models will be clearly explained to you. I hope so. I'm not sure. So regarding your examination point of view, you will be getting compensation management models as a 5 mark or 10 mark. If they are asking for 5 marks, you just give a brief explanation. And if you are asking for 10 marks, means you just give a detailed explanation in that. Okay. And in previous topics, you can get components of the compensation for 10 marks and compensation management definition for 2 marks. Okay. Add to that, we have to see examination point of view also. That's why I'm insisting all these things. Now it's a time to, now we have to see the differences between this financial and non-financial reward. This financial reward and non-financial reward can be asked in the 5 mark question. So financial reward can be defined, maybe it can be defined as a monetary reward, which are tangible in nature, which will fulfill the financial needs of an employee. Whereas non-financial reward or non-monetary rewards, which are intangible in nature. We cannot see that. We can only feel it. We can only, that non-tangible reward can only fulfill the psychological needs of an employee. So these are the 3 major differences or relying on this financial and non-financial rewards. And I think so I don't have much more time for explaining all these things because we have to cover all the things in an hour. So let me share this slide and you can get this slide from your coordinators. I have given some examples for financial reward and also for non-financial reward. And I have clearly explained all those rewards in a single chart. You can, I hope that you can see that chart in my slide. I have just classified the rewards based on the types, and you can see that. So these are the 3 models which makes an HR manager to design about the employee compensation system. Okay. Apart from that, we are having one more style, what we call it as cafeteria style compensation method. Cafeteria style compensation method. Cafeteria. See, you people, you young generation will be well versed in this term cafeteria because you people will be spending much more time on it. So going back to 90s, if going back to 90s, we can see only tea. If you want to have something to have in a break, means we can only have tea or coffee. Apart from that, we won't be having anything in the working environment. But right now, we can see n number of varieties in our cafeteria. Right? Cafeteria means we can see varieties. Varieties means what? If I go for cafeteria, if I want to like to have an hot or something. Hot means I can either have a coffee or tea, so and so. Even now, I can say that even in coffees, we can see different taste, okay? Different varieties. We can, now they are saying that we are having cold coffee, hot chipped coffee, and so on. Okay? So in cafeteria, we can see a variety of products, variety of things get accumulated. So like that, an organization, if is following cafeteria style approach, they are giving choices to the employee to choose what sort of compensation they need. That means what? The organization is giving a variety of compensation reward system. If an employee wants to choose financial reward, they can choose financial reward. If an employee wants to choose non-financial thing, they can choose non-financial thing. So cafeteria style approach compensation system gives an employee to given rights to choose what he wants. If he wants financial, he can choose financial. If he wants non-financial one, he can choose non-financial one. For a particular time, if he wants money, he can choose money. That means financial one. And for a particular point of time, if he wants to go in any holiday trip, if he want to avail any friends benefit, means he can use non-monetary rewards. So this is one style which gives choices to the employee. So as the name itself defines, cafeteria means it gives variety. It gives choices to the employee. So in this cafeteria style compensation system can be seen familiar in IT sectors right now. In IT sectors, we can see an n number of reward system. Apart from money, apart from giving bonus, apart from giving incentives, apart from giving commission, so and so, they are giving this non-monetary things. See, they are giving promotion, they are giving recognition, they are giving appreciation. So all these things makes an employee to think that he is considered to be a key role in that organization. So ultimately, this leads to the productivity of an organization. This shows a good sign in the long-term survival. Okay. So apart from the three models, this style is also getting familiarized nowadays. Okay. Now, I think so. My slide is okay. So as a HR manager, you need to design a compensation system for your employees. Right. All right. So you need to keep one thing in your mind. What means what else an employee is giving into an organization should match to the employee what else he is receiving from the organization. So inputs should matches to the outputs of an employee. Inputs we can say that inputs can be is skills, is time, is knowledge, is qualification, so experience, so on and so. Okay, that thing should get matched with the outputs of an organization. Outputs means outputs in form of salary, outputs in form of benefits, outputs in form of achievements, and outputs in form of recognition and other rewards. So we might be studying this concept as equity theory in our motivation theories. So inputs should get matched with the output. You have to keep it on one thing in your mind. What means the expectation level of your employee should get fulfilled. That is the key thing we need. So as a manager, you need to see whether the inputs are getting matched with your outputs. If we see any mismatches in that, means the employee obviously will show a job switching over. He won't be working in your organization for a long period. So if you want to neglect all these issues, you need to design a complete compensation system. You need to design a fair compensation system. It should be open. It should be crystal clear. It should be very fair among the employees. Okay. And next thing is, we have to see what sort of factors that affects the remuneration or pay structure of an employee. So these are the factors to be considered by an HR manager in designing an employee remuneration. So we can classify these two factors into two things. One is internal factor, another one is external factors. Internal factors means inside the organization, and external factors means outside the organization. What can be the example of internal factors? We can say business strategy as an internal factor. We can say job evaluation, performance appraisal as an internal factor. We can say the things which are happening in and around the organization. In an organization, we call it as an internal factor. The factors which is playing around an organization, that is outside the organization, we call it as an external factors. What we can give as an external factor is we can give job market as an external factor, cost of living as an external factor, society as an external factor, economy as an external factor, geographic location as an external factors. So you have to consider these factors while designing your compensation system, because these factors are affecting your compensation method. These things will affect your remuneration or pay structure of your employees. So you need to concentrate on these factors. And so this factors question can be asked in either 5 marks or 10 marks. If you are, so you have to concentrate on this thing, because they'll be asking this question since it plays a vital role. And next thing, what we are seeing in the slide is factors that determining the pay rates. Okay, factors that determining the pay rates. And in a year, you are going to get placed, right? So you'll be having n number of opportunities in your hand. At that time, you'll be having n number of opportunities. How you will select a job? First and foremost thing comes to your mind, that strikes to your mind, is salary. So salary makes a key thing in choosing a job. So the organization should consider some factors in designing the pay rate of an employee. Pay rate means pay structure of an employee. So what factors are playing an important role means we can say demand and supply. Demand and supply makes a huge impact in pay rates of an organization. Okay, we can say demand and supply. We can say bargaining power. We can say cost of living. We can say condition of product market. We can say comparative wages, ability to pay, productivity of labor, job requirements, goodwill of company, and government policy. So these are the factors which plays an important role in determining the pay structure of your organization. All right. And now, next thing, I hope my slide is visible at your side. Next important concept which we have to know as an HR manager is dearness allowance. We used to call as DA. You can easily hear this word from your parents' side. DA. DA means dearness allowance, which is given to the public sector employees for fulfilling the cost of living or CPI index. Okay, this DA is an allowance. It's an extra allowance. We can say it as an extra allowance. Okay. This extra allowance is given to the employees of the public sector, not for the private sector. This is for the public sector. So the employees who are working in public sector organization will be receiving this dearness allowance. This dearness allowance will be in a percentage form of your basic salary. It will be calculated based on the basic salary of an employee. It is in the percentage form. Based on your basic pay, they'll be calculating the DA. So mainly this is DA is getting provided for an employee to meet out the inflation rate, to meet out the consumer price index, CPI. We might be hearing this word, consumer price index. To meet out this consumer price index, this dearness allowance is given to the employee. These things are apart from salary only, the employer is giving. Not for the private sector. It is meant for the public sector. We can see two types in this DA. One is IDA, that is industrial dearness allowance, and another one is variable dearness allowance. Okay, these things are given only for the public sector or enterprises, public sector or employees, not for the private sector employees. Okay, so this dearness allowance is giving to meet out the price fluctuation of the commodities. So based on the price fluctuation of commodities, this dearness allowance was getting varied. Even in 2020 budget, we can see that the 5% hike in dearness allowance. So there are two types in this dearness allowance. One is we call it as an industrial dearness allowance, which is given for, as I said, which is given for the public sector enterprises. And this is we can see only for the public sector, not for the private sector. And this is a fixed one. It won't get varied. Whereas variable dearness allowance, it is a variable one, varying one. We can see a revision of DA for every 6 months. Every 6 months, this variable dearness allowance is getting varied. So these are the two types of dearness allowance. So at this juncture, I want to make you clear that this dearness allowance is given to the public sector employees.
Excuse me, madam, உங்க ஸ்லைட ஷேர் பண்ணல.
ஸ்லைட் ஷேர் ஆகலையா சார்? ஒன் செகண்ட் சார். ஸ்லைட் ஷேர் ஆகுதா சார்?
ஆகல.
ஆகலையா?
உங்க இது மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு யூசர் நேம் உங்களுக்கு ஷேர்.
இப்போ கிளியரா ஷேர் ஆகுதா சார்?
இல்ல சார். இல்ல மேடம், நீங்க பிரசன்னோ கொடுத்து போங்க.
பிரசன்னோ கொடுத்துட்டேன்.
இல்ல கொடுக்கல.
இல்ல சார், பிரசன்னோ ஆக்சுவலி இன்ஆக்டிவா இருக்கு. பிரசன்னாவுல வந்து மேபி என்னோட இது மட்டும் தான் எனக்கு தெரியல. பிகாஸ் என்னோட அந்த ஆப்ஷன் வந்து இன்ஆக்டிவாவே இருக்கு.
நீங்க வந்து இந்த ஐடில இருந்து வாங்கலாம் மேடம். நம்ம
எதுலங்க சார்? அதுதான் சார், அது கோட் கேக்குது சார். அந்த மொபைல் நம்பரோட சேர்த்து
கொடுத்தேன். ஃபார் சொல்லி உங்களுக்கு
கோட் வரல சார்.
இருங்க ஒரு நிமிஷம், கோட் சொல்றேன், நோட் பண்ணிக்கிறீங்களா?
ஓகே சார், ஓகே.
XRY
சார் சாரி டு டிஸ்டர்ப் யூ. இப்போ என்னோட ஸ்லைடு பிரசன்ட் ஆகுதான்னு கொஞ்சம் பார்க்க முடியுமா சார்?
சார் பாத்துட்டே இருக்கேன் மேடம், ஒண்ணும் வரல.
அப்படியா? இப்பயும் வரல?
வரல.
ஓகே சார், ஓகே. நான் அந்த இதுல இருந்து வந்துறேன் சார்.
உங்க மீட்டுக்கு அது மேலே பாருங்க, கோட் இருக்கு பாருங்க.
சார்
உங்க லிங்க் இருக்குங்க, meetgoogle.com/ மேல பாருங்க.
ஒன் செகண்ட் சார். இருக்கு சார்.
WEGB-XAG அதான் கோட்.
இல்ல சார், அது கொடுத்ததுக்கு ஒரு ஒன் செகண்ட் சார். அது இந்த மெயில் ஐடி கொடுத்துருக்கீங்க இல்லையா, BDU.something.ac, அது கொடுத்ததுக்கு அப்புறமே எனக்கு ஒரு ஃபோன் நம்பர் கேட்டது. அந்த ஃபோன் நம்பருக்கு அப்புறம் திருப்பி நான் கொடுத்தேன்னா வெரிஃபிகேஷன் கோட் வாஸ் சென்ட் டு தட் நம்பர் வருது.
ஆமா, அது கேட்கதான் செய்யும்.
அதுதான்
அலப்பா வருங்க. நீட்டப்பா வந்துச்சு, முன்னால வந்துச்சு உங்களுக்கு பிரசன்டேஷன் தான்.
வந்துதா சார்?
நான் கவனிக்கவே இல்லை, ஏன்னா நீங்க பண்ணிடுவீங்கன்னு சொன்னா நான் போயிட்டேன்.
அப்படிங்களா? இப்ப பாருங்க, என்னோட இது பிரசன்ட் ஆகுதானே?
உள்ளே இது ஆகல, நீங்க வெளியில போயிட்டு உள்ள வாங்க. இப்ப
இப்ப வருதா சார்? ஓகே ஓகே சார், ஓகே ஓகே. கொடுத்துட்டேன் சார். எனக்கு இப்போ ஒன்லி ஒரு டயலாக் பாக்ஸ் என்ன வருதுன்னா ஸ்டாப் ஷேரிங் மட்டும் தான் வருது.
இப்போ ஒண்ணும் பண்ணாதீங்க.
ஒண்ணும் பண்ணல சார். ஓகே ஓகே.
இத ஃபுல் ஸ்கிரீன் கொடுத்துங்க.
ஃபுல் ஸ்கிரீனா சார்?
கீழ அந்த ஐகான் இருக்கும்ல, அதை கிளிக் பண்ணீங்கன்னா வந்துருங்க.
இந்த ஒன் செகண்ட்
இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, அதுல கீழ F5 கொடுங்கடா. F5
F5. ஓகே சார். இப்போ ஸ்கிரீன் ஃபுல்லா வருதா சார்?
மேடம் வரல. இந்த கீழ வந்து ஐகான் இருக்கும்ல மேடம், பிரசன்டேஷன்ல.
பிரசன்டேஷன்ல
கீழ பாருங்க.
ஒன் செகண்ட் சார். ஃபுல் ஸ்கிரீன் இருக்கு சார். ஓகே, இப்போ பாருங்க, ஃபுல் ஸ்கிரீன் வருதானே? வரலையா?
சரி, ஓகே. இது ஓகே, இது விட்டுருங்க, அப்படியே கொண்டு போங்க.
ஓகே சார். இப்போ என்னோட ஸ்லைட் தெரியுதுங்களா சார்?
தெரியுது மேடம்.
ஓகே சார், ஓகே.
இதே நீங்க மூவ் பண்றீங்க அப்படியே.
நான் எதுவும் பண்ணல சார், எதுவும் பண்ணல.
ரைட்ல இத உங்க ஸ்லைடு இறக்கிங்க ஏத்தீங்க நீங்க. ஓகே
ஓகே சார், ஓகே.
ஓகே சார், டவுன்லோட் ஓகே, நோ ப்ராப்ளம்.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So, sir, shall I start?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. So, at this juncture, I want to make you clear that this day earners allowance is mainly given to the public sector employees, not for the private sector employees. Okay, so this thing should get strikes while hearing this word day earners allowance. And second most thing is this is given to the employees to meeting out the inflation rate of the commodities. Okay, and next thing is apart from these benefits, organization is also giving a wonderful scheme called VRS, okay, Voluntary Retirement Scheme. This voluntary retirement scheme can otherwise also can be considered as a golden handshake scheme. This is given a right for an employee to quitting out from his job. See, if an employee is getting affected mentally or physically, and if an employee is in position not to continue his job, means he has to give an option to quitting out from his job. If he is getting affected both mentally and physically, he cannot work it out. He cannot work in organization, and ultimately that strikes the productivity of an organization. So this scheme is given for the employees who cannot continue their job. So this voluntary retirement scheme is considered to be the golden handshake scheme, and this scheme gives both benefits and also demerits for an employee. See, let's see the benefit which is getting from the side of employees. As I said, if an employee is affected mentally, or if an employee is affected physically, and if an employee incurred any accidents or something, means he cannot continue his job. At that time, we cannot force that employee to continue his job. And so for the employees who are getting affected like that, we have to give a scheme. So that scheme is called as VRS, Voluntary Retirement Scheme. And this scheme is giving an choice. This scheme is giving an option for the employee to quitting out his or her job. And this is a mandatory thing as it is insisted by the law. The organization is giving this scheme. So regarding from the perspective of employees, we can say this VRS scheme is giving benefits for an employee who cannot work, first thing. And even if an employee is opting this VRS, he will be getting all sort of benefits which is mentioned as per the law. So an employee who is getting affected can quit his job. That is the first benefit which is gaining. And second thing is he also will be getting all the benefits which is insisted by the law. And third thing is the employee who is opting this VRS will be get tax exemption of till 5 lakhs. Okay, what sort of amount is getting from as a VRS amount? For that, for a 5 lakhs is getting tax exemption. So these are the three major benefits of an employee who is opting this VRS scheme. So an organization should give this right to an employee, because when he is physically, mentally affected, he cannot continue his job. So that will ultimately affects the productivity of an organization. Okay. So in that case, and this scheme gives an huge benefit to the employee. Okay. So this is in the side of perspective in form of employee. While we are seeing in form of in the side of employer, an employer is giving job for an affected person, means will he work? Will he give us full efficiency? Certainly not. He won't give us full. He won't work in an efficient manner. Then and as I said, it will affect the productivity also. So for downsizing the employee, for downsizing the manpower, if there is an excess manpower also, this organization is following this VRS scheme. Okay, so we can say this VRS scheme as an benefited one. Also, it is giving some demerits also. So on saying the merits, it doesn't want to have it gives a legal, it won't give any legal constraint to an organization. It reduces the conflicts. It gives a flexibility in the scheme, and also ultimately it will reduce us the manpower. If there is an excess manpower, we can also reduce it. Okay, so even in this VRS scheme also we are having some demerits. So demerits inside of employees, if you are saying demerits means it will give a fear among the employees. So as I said you that it gives legal rights of an organization to give this VRS. When an employee is facing this sort of issue in his organization, surely he'll be having a fear. Surely he will feel job insecure. So their job security will be a question mark. So this VRS scheme is giving an uncertainty for the existing employees. So see, an employee, if he's getting affected, means this scheme will get worked out. And if an employee is in good manner and using this VRS scheme, if an organization is giving any termination, or if an organization is giving VRS to an employee, means surely that family will get affected. So this VRS scheme will make an uncertainty condition for the existing employees. And second thing is, it will lead to a confusion in the working operation also. Basic thing which an employee is expecting from an organization is job security. So if an employee doesn't feel secure in his job, means surely he won't give its efficiency in an organization. So surely he won't perform well. So all these will affect both organization and also an employees. Okay, so there arises conflicts, there arises issues among the trade unions. So all these things ultimately makes an organization to lose a good employee, makes an organization to lose a versatile employee, makes an organization to lose a loyal employee. So VRS scheme is giving both merits and also demerits for both organization and also for the employee. Okay, so I hope that these things will make you very clear about the VRS. At this juncture, I just want to recall it. What concepts we have discussed so far. We have discussed about the compensation management system. We have discussed about the goals of a compensation management system. And second thing is, we have seen about the components which makes the compensation system. And next thing is, we have seen about how a compensation system should be designed. And after that, we have seen what sort of models are available for designing this compensation system. And after that, we have seen a wonderful style called cafeteria style approach. And after that, we have seen VRS scheme. That this is a wonderful scheme for both organization and also for an employee. And in that, we have seen both merits and demerits of an organization. VRS. Okay. And moving on to the next topic. Once again, let me share my slide. I hope my slide is visible. Since it's one line, I cannot even check it out with you. I hope so. My slide is visible to you all. And next concept, which is considered to be a key thing in compensation, is executive compensation method. Executive, the term executive itself says that the persons who are in the top management. So far we have seen about the compensation systems which is prevailing for the employees who are in the middle level and also in the low level. And this is the time to see about the executive compensation system. Executive means the persons who are in the top level. We can say that the persons like manager, CEOs, so it's okay. So executive compensation is the compensation paid to the executives of business corporation. So not only we have to focus the employees who are in the middle level and low level, we need to also focus about the employees who are in the top level also. Okay, so compensation system which is given for the executives are called as executive compensation system. Okay, in executive compensation system, I mentioned about the who else will be availing this executive compensation system. The persons who are considered to be presidents, vice presidents, directors, general managers, so and so. Okay, so these persons will be availing this executive compensation system, and in this executive compensation system, we can see 4 elements. And in previous times, we have seen about the components of an compensation system. There also we have seen about the salary. There also we have seen about the bonus. There also we have seen about the fringe benefits and so on. Like that, we need to concentrate our managers also. Okay, the persons who are doing their finance job, the persons who are doing the administration level. So those managers also to be considered for this compensation system. So what sort of compensation are available for this executive level persons are? We can say salary, we can say bonus, we can say long-term incentive, as I say, requisites, etc. Okay, so salary, main thing what we are focusing from an organization is, what we are expecting from an organization is salary. So the salary should be given for the managers at the right time, and also it should fulfill the needs of a managers. Okay, so if the top level is good, and if the top level is getting satisfied, ultimately it leads to a good working condition of other rest of the employees. Okay, so apart from salary, in executive compensation system, they will be getting bonus, or else we can call it as a profit sharing of an organization. They can be even as a silent partners of an organization also. Okay, so they'll be receiving salary, they'll be receiving bonus, and they'll be even receiving stock options also. Some companies are also giving this stock options also. The managers also can get their stocks, and they can also be a shareholder of that organization. So these are the things which are getting included in the executive compensation system. Apart from all these things, we can also see that the managers can use the company cars, managers can use company quarters. They'll be provided with gadgets, all sort of gadgets. They'll be giving club membership. They'll be giving a first class ticket in flights, and their kids will be getting education loans. Their elder parents will be getting all sort of medical loans and all. So they'll be also helping in the financial assistance also. If they're buying any assets, the company will be helping out in all sort of things. Okay, so these are the executive compensation rewards available for the executives. Okay, so on concentrating all these reward system for the executives, benefits ought to be calculated. Okay, so benefits, on seeing the benefits for benefits of this executive compensation system, what benefits are available for executives are, we can see retirement benefits, we can see health insurance, we can see vacations, we can see more number of, as I said, this paid holiday trip and so on. Okay, this slide will clearly explains about the Indian practices of executive compensation. It is a necessary to focus. It's a necessary to think about the executives who are working in an organization. Not only the middle level and low level, we need to consider the high level also. Okay, so I have quoted about the Indian practices, which is inbuilt around in India. So these 3 factors plays an important role in fixing out this executive compensation system. If an organization is providing executive compensation system, we can see job complexity. Employees are able to pay executive human capital level. Okay, and in next slide, I've just made a differentiation between the private sector and public sector executive compensation method. See, we are in DA and all, we are seeing that the employees will be get benefited. See, those things are only applicable for the public sector employees, whereas in this executive compensation is far better in private sectors. The top level will be get much more amount than the public sector. I have just made a comparison. See, BHL chief is getting around 10 to 12 lakhs per annum. Okay, whereas ABB MBD is getting 40 to 50 lakhs. So this sort of differentiation we can see in the executive levels. Okay, executive levels. Regarding this executive levels of compensation, we can see a fair one. We can see a good sound one compensation in private sectors. Okay, rather than public sectors, private sectors are focusing more on it. Okay, and in this slide, I just mentioned the executive compensation system of an Oracle. For an executors in Oracle, they are giving basic salary, they are giving conveyances, they are giving special allowances, they are giving gratuity, they are giving provident fund, HRA, traveling allowances, medical claim, bank facility, and so on. Okay, these are the things which are getting provided for the employees who are in the executive level of an Oracle. And whereas in IBM also they are giving these sort of reward system for their executors. So if the top level manager is fully satisfied, ultimately those persons will motivate the middle level and low level. So an organization should also concentrate on the executors who are working under them. Okay, and so these are the additional things which are given for the executors apart from the salary. And next thing what you have to see now is in 5th unit you are having one topic called introduction of collective bargaining. Okay, collective bargaining. So these in compensation we are not talking about an individual person, we are talking about a group, we are talking about the employees who are working under a single roof. So under a single roof, and all the employees should be treated well. Okay, so collective bargaining, collective means we can say it as a group, bargaining means negotiation, right? So this collective bargaining can easily makes the dreams of an employer and also the employee to makes the dreams true. Okay, in collective bargaining we can say that see, the single proverb can clearly explain the power of this collective bargaining. United we rise, divided we fall. If the employees are united, they can get all sort of benefits from their organization. If they consider themselves, if they are considering alone, means they cannot get any benefit from their organization. So collective bargaining only makes the employees to get all sort of benefits from the organization. So this concept is getting emerged only in 20th century. Accurately, we can say that after 1960s only we can use this, we can see this word collective bargaining. So collective bargaining means what else the proposal is given from the side of employees, we call it as a bargaining. And what is the counter proposals arising from the side of employer also? Bargaining. So collective bargaining makes the dreams of both employer and also employee to makes the dreams true. So after 1960s only we can see the trade unions and all. So in public sector organization we can see the importance of this collective bargaining. Even we can say that trade unions are the major powers, or considered to be the major power of an organization. Okay, through trade unions only, the employees will get all sort of benefits from the organization. So this collective bargaining, I hope my slide is clear. See in this slide you can see if an organization employees or group, if an organization employees are together, they can get all sort of benefits from their employees. So on saying the objectives of collective bargaining, this collective bargaining will make employees to get benefits from an organization, will give a peaceful environment to an organization. Both employer and also employee will get benefited out of it. So these are the objectives of bargaining, and we can see two types in this bargaining. First one is consecutive bargaining, second one is cooperative bargaining. Consecutive bargaining is one side. Okay, one side, in a word I can say that one side can win and another side will face a loss. So for what in this collective bargaining, I just given you some examples. For these issues, collective bargaining will work it out. Okay, for the issues of wages and working condition, for the issues of work norms, incentive payments, job security, changes in technology, work tools, techniques and practices, staff transfer and promotion, grievances, disciplinary issues, health and safety, and issues related to insurance and benefits, union recognition, management rights. So all these issues can be solved using your collective bargaining. Okay. So regarding the types of bargaining, we can see two types. One is consecutive. Consecutive means one side will win, another side will lose. Okay. So for in this, the best example we can quote here is, trade unions will be fighting for their wages to the maximum level, but the organization can give only to an affordable level. So these are the issues can be fulfilled from one side only. We cannot fulfill both the sides. Whereas in the second type, cooperative bargaining, both the sides will be benefited. Mutual benefits can be seen in this cooperative bargaining. In this cooperative bargaining, we can see the issues related to the working condition, related to the time and all. So the working time of an employees. So these things can be easily solved. So there are two types of bargaining, and this question can be asked in 10 marks. This collective bargaining can be asked in 10 marks, and regarding these types, it can be asked in 5 marks. Okay. So in collective bargaining, we can see two types. One is consecutive, another one is cooperative. Consecutive is one side can win, another side can lose, and cooperative, mutual sides are get benefited. Okay. And moving on to the process of collective bargaining, I hope my slide clearly explains the process of collective bargaining. See, in the left side, I have given union claim. Okay, union claim. What proposal is what proposal is arising from the side of union? It's in left side. And we can say the management proposal. So these two are combining together and they are sitting for negotiation. Union is claiming for one thing. For example, we can claim for salary hike. And management is also giving one proposal. So these two are sitting for a negotiation, and we can see also a third party influence in it. Okay, apart from union also, there will be third party influence. This third party can be in government or law, so and so. Okay, so on considering these two proposals, they both will be sit for a negotiation, and after a long negotiation sitting, they will be coming for a conclusion, and that one will be called as collective agreement. So proposals arises from both sides. They'll sit and talk for this proposal, and after a negotiation process, they will be coming to a conclusion of a collective agreement. This is how the collective bargaining will work it out. Okay, through unions, the employees will claim for what else they need, and management will sit for that collective bargaining. They will negotiate, and after a mutual understanding, they both will get benefited. This is the process of a collective bargaining. I hope so. My slide will clearly explain you the process of this. And collective bargaining shows an impact in the productivity also. Okay, when the employees who are working under the organization is getting all sort of proposal which is arising from their side, means ultimately there will be full and proper utilization of all resources. See, when the proposals are arising from the side of trade unions, from the side of employees. And that proposals are considered, and the counter proposals are arising from the side of management. All these things are to be considered, and at the last they are giving an agreement. They are giving an best proposal out of it. So in that proposal, mutual benefits will be available both from the side of employer and also from the side of employee. So ultimately, this collective bargaining increases the productivity of an organization. When an organization is when an organization is giving rights for this bargaining or negotiation to the employees, there we can see an increased level of productivity. So I have just quoted some most common productivity linked issues and demands of union and also management. One is workload and work norms. For this issue, they can sit for negotiation. For workload and work norms also, they can sit for negotiation, collective bargaining. And I'm sorry, my slide is okay. I hope my slide is fixed. So for workload issues and work norm issues, we can we can do this collective bargaining. For quality of working condition, we can solve using collective bargaining. For wages, for allowances and fringe benefits also, we can these issues can be solved using collective bargaining. And if there is a change in technology or work methods, we can sit for this collective bargaining. And if we want to, and if the organization is want to do any retrenchment or deployment and all, we can sit for collective bargaining. So these things can get sorted out using this collective bargaining. I hope this collective bargaining makes an employee to get what sort of dreams he is having. So this collective bargaining will makes the dreams of both the employee and also employer to see their dreams as true, okay, to be a true one. And we are in the last hour, it seems, and in the fifth unit, you might be having one topic called industrial relationship. So at the last, we are seeing about the relationship. In the first slides and all, we were discussing about the compensation methods, rewards and all. At the last time, we need to see about the relationship between the management and the laborers. Okay, industrial relations, or otherwise called as labor management relation, employee-employer relation, union management relation, personal relation, human relation, and so on. Okay, so industrial relation, IR, in short, we can call it as an IR. IR is a relationship between the employees and the management. Employee, what sort of relationship is prevailing among the employees and employer? So this is the key thing. As a HR manager, you need to think about this one. So if there is a cordial relationship between the employer and also employee, that organization will have a huge profit. That organization will have a long-term survival. If there is an issues in this relationship among the employee and employer, that organization won't grow for a long level. That organization will surely face that decline stage. Okay, an organization who doesn't want to see that decline stage must focus on this industrial relation. Okay, an organization who wants for a long-term survival for 100 years, for 200 years. So if the organization wants to run for long term, they need to think about this IR. So it's also depends on the hands of HR manager. The HR manager must think about this relationship. Without a cordial relationship among the employer and employee, that we cannot see a positive sign. That we cannot see a positive vibe in the working condition. Okay. So as a HR manager, you need to think about this industrial relationship. Okay. In my slide, I mentioned about that relationship, industrial relationship definition. And next thing is, I have given slide of about liberalization in industrial relationship. So in 1991, new economic reforms were introduced. In that stage, they give some liberalization in the industrial relationship. When an organization is considering, when an organization is thinking about the cordial relationship between the employer and the employee, that organization will go for long term. That organization will give a long term survival. That organization will withstand in that competitive market. Okay, when and also considering the employee family, considering the employee needs will ultimately improves, motivates an employee. Okay, so as an HR manager, you need to think about the industrial, think about the cordial relationship between the employee and employer. So it is in your hands to think, it is in your hands to give a cordial relationship between the employer and also employee. So for giving a cordial relation, for maintaining the cordial relationship, an HR manager should focus on some things. Okay, focus on few things. I have just given a slide of explaining an modern concept of IR. In olden days and all, that is before 1950s and all, we can see in IR practices. In that we can say the ownership will be relies on the factory owners. They'll be focusing only on the production. They won't be focusing on the employee welfare activities and all. They'll be only focusing on the production. So ultimately, there we can see only hire or fire. If an organization is giving focused on only production, not giving focused on employee needs, there we can see only hire and fire. If an employee is working well, he'll be hired, and if an employee is not working well, he'll be fired. This is the classical approach, and now we can see a modern approach in this IR concept. What sort of things means? And an organization is also giving importance for an employee welfare activities, employee welfare schemes and all. So apart from production, an organization should focus on this welfare activities also. So if an organization is focusing on both welfare activities of an employee, that organization can have a long-term survival. Okay, so my slide will clearly explain the modern IR concept. And moving on to the objectives of IR, why a manager or HR manager, or why an organization should focus on IR means to develop and retain employee-employer relationship. As I said, the employer and employee relationship is in the hands of HR. So for a cordial relationship, so for a higher productivity, this cordial relationship plays a vital role. So keep on considering this IR. This HR manager plays a vital role for maintaining the employee and also employer relationship, for regulating the production for regulating the production of an organization, to avoid conflicts, to avoid issues. This IR should be considered. So these are the key things regarding your IR practices. And in my slide, I'll just mention you some factors. Because of time constraint, I couldn't get much more into our topic, because all these things should be covered in a single hour. So I've tried my level best to give all your inputs in my slide. I'm sure I'll share my slides to our coordinators and the students. If you want to get the slides, you can contact your coordinators and get these slides. And these slides will surely help you for your future references. Okay. And seeing about these factors affecting this industrial relations. I have just classified the factors into few things. One is institutional factors. Second one is economic factor. Third one is social factor. And fourth one is technological factor. Fifth one is psychological factor. Sixth one is political factor. And the last one is global factor. So these are the 6 factors which affects the industrial relations. Okay. Institutional factors means we can say it as a state policy, labor laws, collective bargaining agreement, labor unions. So these are the factors which will affect your industrial relationship, which affects your relationship among the employee and also the employer. So these factors are considered to be the institutional factor. And moving on to the second one, economic factor. Economic factor is type of business organization, partnership, government. So based on the economic condition of your organization, so the industrial IR gets also affected. So these factors also should be considered. And on seeing the social factors is we can see caste differences, colors, social values, norms, so social status and all. So these are the factors also affecting your IR. So as an HR manager, you need to consider all these factors, okay? And next one is technological factors. Technological plays in this competitive environment, technology plays an important role. Without that updation in technology, you cannot survive, okay? So technology is getting changed for every second. We can say it as an every second, every no minute the technology is getting changed. So as a manager, you need to think about this technological updation also. You need to be updated in your technology. You can't survive in by using the obsolete technology or which was faded. Okay, so you cannot survive with the technology which is faded out. So as an employer, you need to think about the technology factors which is prevailing in and around. Okay, technology updates. You have to be updated very well in this aspect. So technology plays an important role in affecting the IR. And the next one is psychological factor. Psychological factor is, we can say it as an owner's attitude, perception of workforce, motivation, morale, etc. And apart from these, political factors also affects your IR. Political factors means political changes surely will affect the IR relationship. Okay. So as a manager, you need to concentrate all these factors, and all these factors will surely show an huge impact in the IR relationship. Okay. So I hope I have covered all the key areas of your compensation. So these are the things which you have to focus on, which you have to focus and which you have to be a versatile one. So these things makes you to clear your roles and responsibilities of an HR manager. Okay. I think we are having 10 more minutes. Let me summarize this compensation paper in this 10 minutes. Okay. So that you can make yourself very clear. So the students who cannot join at that right time can also use this 10 minutes. In the beginning, we have seen about the definition of compensation management. As I said, compensation is the total rewards which an employee is receiving from the employer for the work which he has done. So what sort of rewards he is receiving from the employer is called as a compensation. This compensation can be either in form of two ways. One is financial one, another one is non-financial rewards. Okay, this financial rewards can fulfill the financial needs of an employee, whereas the non-financial rewards will fulfill the psychological needs of an employee. We cannot tell that only the financial reward will motivate your employees, and we cannot tell that non-financial rewards will motivate your employee. It depends upon the situation. It depends upon the environment. It depends upon the needs of an employee. So, being a manager, you need to think which reward will increase the motivation level of your employee. So these are the two types of reward system. And after that, we have seen about the components of a compensation system. In that, we have seen about wages, we have seen about salary, we have seen about fringe benefits, we have seen about incentives, so and so. So you can. I hope you can differentiate salary and also wages. And now you can differentiate incentives and fringe benefits. Incentives are the additional payments given to the employee, whereas fringe benefits are the additional benefits given to employee. So these are the components which accumulates in this compensation system. And later on, we have seen about how an HR manager should design their compensation system. So for that, we have seen three models. One is person based, and another one is position based, and another one is performance based. In that three models, we have seen on three main focusing areas. If an organization is seeing a person based individual person insights, they are following. They can be say that person based model. If an employer is focusing on position based, means we can say it as a hierarchy or grade, so and so. That we call it as a position based one. And if an employer is focusing towards the performance level of an organization, performance level of an employee, means we can say it as a performance based. So these three models are very familiarized among the organization right now. And apart from that, we can see an emerging concept called as cafeteria style compensation. As the word cafeteria itself will clearly explains you that it combines and varieties. Okay, it gives choices. It gives a right to choose that choices. Okay, so cafeteria style compensation system gives a variety of reward system for the employees. If an employee wants to choose a financial reward, they can choose a financial reward, and if an employee wants to choose a non-financial reward, they can choose a non-financial reward system. So this cafeteria style approach is getting followed nowadays, and we can see more in IT sectors. Okay, and later on we have seen about the dearness allowance. Dearness allowance is an allowance given to the employees who are working in the public sector organization. So we can say that the employees who are working in state government and central government, they'll be availing this dearness allowance. This dearness allowance will be in percentage form, and it is based on the basic pay of an employee. Okay, in that we have seen about two types. One was industrial one, another one is variable one. Okay, and after that we have seen about once again. And after that, we have seen about this classification in fringe benefits. And next thing, we have seen a wonderful scheme called VRS scheme. And VRS scheme is a scheme which is giving rights for an employee to quit his job. So this VRS scheme also give an option for give some benefits and also demerit benefits to the both employer and also for the employee. And we have seen some benefits for an employer side, and also we have seen some benefits for employee side also. And that makes you very clear about this VRS scheme. This VRS scheme can also be called as a golden handshake scheme. So this on seeing the benefits, it gives a choice for an employee to quit his job. And after quitting also, he can avail all the benefits which he can get from the employer. Okay, so this gives a legal rights for the employer also to downsize or to decrease the manpower of its organization. Okay, so this gives both benefits and also demerits. Okay, this VRS gives us both benefits and also demerits. And moving on to that, after that we have seen about collective bargaining. Collective bargaining concept that the word itself clearly explains about. And after that we have seen about executive compensation. Executive compensation method is a method for which is given for the executives. So executives means we can say the managers, general managers, directors, presidents and all. So in executive compensation system, we can see 4 elements. One was salary, bonus, long-term incentive and perquisites and all. And in some organization, executives are giving rights to get the stocks. They can also be in stockholders. And apart from the salary, they are getting some sort of benefits from an organization. They are providing HR, they are providing allowances for their accommodation. They are giving gadgets. They are giving car facilities and all. They are giving loans for their kids. They are giving loans for their medical issues. So these are the elements which is given for the executive level. So we have seen those things. And after that, we have seen about the benefits of this executive compensation system. And I have just clearly explained you the Indian practices which are getting followed for the executives level. And in that, we have seen the differentiation among the public sector and also private sector. So in public sector, as far as this executive compensation system, it is fair in private sector when compared to the public sector. Okay, and on that topic, we have also seen about the executive compensation system which is getting followed by Oracle and IBM. You might all be well versed in this Oracle and IBM products and all. And after that, at the last, we have seen about the collective bargaining, and we have seen about the definition of collective bargaining and the emergence of collective bargaining. The collective bargaining was familiar only after 1962s. 1962s only, after 1962 only, we can see the concept of trade unions and all. In collective bargaining, we can we can mix the dreams of both employer and also employee into true. And this collective bargaining can be defined as group, and bargaining can be a negotiation. Bargaining can be a proposal and also the counter proposal of employer. Okay, and we are saying about the objectives of collective bargaining. Few objectives makes the collective bargaining into an efficient one. And we have seen two types in this collective bargaining. One was consecutive and another one is cooperative. In consecutive type bargaining, we can see both the levels. In consecutive level bargaining, one side will be winning one and another side will be a loser one. The issues like wages and all, bonus, benefits and all can be discussed in this consecutive bargaining. Whereas in cooperative bargaining, we can see mutual benefits both from the side of employer and also from the side of employee. Both the sides will be get benefited. And in collective bargaining, we can discuss a few issues. I have just given you some examples. In the issues of wages, working condition, working norms, so and so can be discussed in this collective bargaining. And I have clearly explained you about the process of collective bargaining. In collective bargaining, in both the sides, we will be getting a proposal. The union will be giving the proposal of the employees and the management will giving the counter proposal of that union proposal. Both will sit for a negotiation, and after a long discussion and with the influence of third party, they will come for a conclusion. So in this manner only this collective bargaining process is getting executed. And after that, we have seen about the impact of collective bargaining. So this shows a major impact in the productivity, and that will ultimately makes an organization to utilize the fullest resources of that organization. That will make an organization to utilize their fullest resources. And after that, we have seen about, I've just given you one case. If time permits, I can explain you, but we are running out of time. So I've just mentioned in that slide itself. If you get a slide, you can clearly understand that. And after that, I have discussed about industrial relationship. Industrial relationship can be defined as a relationship between the management and employees. And we have discussed how this HR manager should maintain the relationship between these management and also the employee. So at this juncture, I want to make you very clear that you are going to save the key asset of an organization. So you are going to give the key asset for an organization. So you are having much more responsibilities than other streams. Okay. So as a HR manager, you need to concentrate on this compensation designs of an organization. You need to this compensation system also should be a fair one. This compensation system also should be a sound one. This compensation should be an crystal clear to all the employees. There we have to see a fair system. So as a HR manager, you have to be very clear in this compensation techniques, in this compensation designs and all. And I hope that I have given you the insights about the compensation. So, sir? Sir? So this makes you to get a clear picture of this compensation system. So I can conclude this session with three things. So if as a HR manager, if you are concentrating on the compensation system, it will decrease your job switching over rate. It will increase your productivity, and ultimately you can show a long-term survival. So an organization which is giving focus towards this compensation can avail these three benefits. Okay. So being sir? I hope not, sure. So at this juncture, I made you very clear about the objectives of compensation management. So being so you in a year you're all going to get placed, and I hope I wish you that you have to get placed in a good organization who is following and good compensation and sound compensation system. If it is not so, I hope that based on these tips and based on these ideas, you will design a good compensation system which you are going to work for. And I think so I have done my justice. Sir? Sir? Shall I wind up the session? So regarding examination point of view, I have given you some tips, and in this slide will make you very clear about the examination point of view struggles also. You can use these slides for your future references. Based on these slides, you can give a very well presentation in your examination. I hope you all that you all will give a clear success and great success in your examination. And at this juncture, I want to thank Bhadasan University and also Dr. V. Suresh Kumar sir for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you all. Good luck.
Hello, madam. Hello, madam.